So Josh Beckett, who is 29 years old. CC Sabathia is 29 years old. And this is going to be the first major league game in 44 years in which each starting pitcher is under 30 with 100 or more career victories and a winning percentage above 60%. The last time that happened in a big league game was just about 44 years ago, 44 years and 1 day ago. As Jeter, first ball swinging deep into right center, and that ball is a home run. Derek Jeter.
First pitch at 8:10. Game time temperatures 80 degrees with winds from the south-southwest at 10 miles an hour. Homer number 6.
And it is 1-0 Yankees. One to nothing. The Yankees are ahead. Derek Jeter, and that's no cheapie. A home run to right center into the home bullpen for a right-handed hitter. Now Johnny Damon, and that is in there for a strike. And Jeter's hot streak picks right up again after going 0 for 3 yesterday. That's his 26th hit in the last 13 games.
Well, Derek Jeter's been absolutely on fire, especially because he's been looking to go the other way. Friday night, Brad Penny started him off with a fastball, and he started that game with a double down the line. Tonight, fastball away, and he drives it to right center field.
And, John, that is his 2700th hit in his major league career. And that puts him 21 behind Lou Gehrig, who has the Yankee record.
So Derek Jeter, who is already starting to show numbers among the all-time great shortstops. There's just no getting around it. Johnny Damon, 284, 22 home runs. And that is handled by Victor Martinez for the unassisted foot out, and there is one away.
First baseman number 20.
Okay, so we're having some technical problems with Joe's microphone. Although Steve and I heard the comments, Joe, and I was fascinated.
Really, some of your best analysis of the year, Joe. It was outstanding.
Mark Teixeira looks at a called strike. Teixeira, 31 homers, 92 runs batted in. 1-0. The Yankees ahead, and that is a called strike too.
You know, there is something about Derek Jeter, though. Big series, big games. The Friday night coming in here, and you know, the Yankees want to make a statement. They're a different team than the team that played at Fenway Park earlier this year. And Jeter started off with a double there, and it started this one off with the home run.
Derek Jeter, 16 home runs for the season, and Jeter, he's been around a long time, and he's having one of his best years. At an age where a lot of shortstops, they're talking about maybe moving him to a different position. They start to slow down a little bit, and he's been better. The curveball hangs up and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Mark Teixeira.
Well, it's interesting to me how many times people throw the fastball away to Derek Jeter. I mean, he's a guy that looks to go the other way almost every time at the plate. The ball in the outer third of the plate, he lets it get deep in and drives it. You got to pound him in, I think.
And that's off of Teixeira.
Hey, take a look at Jason Varitek setting up away on the fastball, and then Derek Jeter letting the ball travel deep into the zone. Let the ball get back deep into the zone. He just thinks about, I'm going to drive the ball to the right side of the field. He never tries to get out front, never tries to pull. You'll see him stay behind the ball right there, behind that front leg, driving it out to the gap. Had just enough carry to get into the bullpen for a home run.
Here's A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez, good fastball on the outside corner at 96 miles an hour. And it is 0-1. Rodriguez, 21 homers, 65 batted in. A year that he started a month late after having some hip surgery and has never been at 100% efficiency. That's deep third base, and a nice play by Youkilis. The long throw. to get A-Rod. But Derek Jeter has hit the first pitch of the night for a home run. The Yankees are ahead as CC Sabathia takes the hill. Is Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury, the leadoff man, coming up against CC Sabathia, who has a 1-0 lead. Let's take a look now at the Red Sox batting order presented by Taco Bell. Ellsbury, center field, one steal away from setting an all-time Red Sox record for steals. Dustin Pedroia, MVP in the American League last year, hitting 300. Victor Martinez at first base, and he started to heat it up a bit. Kevin Youkilis, huge game here yesterday. 2 homers, 6 RBIs. Jason Bay in left field, 87 runs batted in. Mike Lowell, the designated hitter, hitting 301. Rocco Baldelli in right field, the former Ray. Jason Varitek, the catcher, and Alex Gonzalez is the shortstop, batting ninth, all up against CC Sabathia. 14-game winner, 14-7. And the only left-handed batter that he'll be facing is Ellsbury. All the other Red Sox hitters will bat right-handed against Sabathia. As you see his numbers.
Well, you see his numbers right there. The 14 wins, 3.58 ERA, the 233 opponent's batting average, but only one lefty. Lefty's hitting 211 against Sabathia this year. And the one thing you say about CC Sabathia, we hear about Mr. October, Mr. November. Well, he's Mr. August right now, wanting to be Mr. October and Mr. November. Great success in this month as the season goes along. He gets in that rhythm. 32-9, what, 19-2 in the month of August since 2005.
A ball and a strike to Ellsbury, and now 2-1. Pedroia and Victor Martinez will follow. Jacoby Ellsbury, the most prolific base stealer in Red Sox history, the record holder for steals in a season for the Red Sox in their long history was Tommy Harper, and he has already tied Harper. And Sabathia is too low. And the count is 3 balls and 1 strike. Derek Jeter leading off a game for the 21st time in his career with a home run, which when you consider he'd never been a full-time leadoff man until this year. That's an awful lot of leadoff home runs. And that was his 2,700th career hit. And now it's a full count, 3-2.
Well, you see right there, Jacoby Ellsbury is overmatched on that high fastball with Sabathia. And we were talking about how great he is in August. He's won 10 consecutive August games right now. He's working on his 11th tonight.
Full count to Ellsbury. Just blew a fastball right by him. There is Cano, and he boots it.
Well, he threw him a fastball away the pitch before, and this was a fastball in on the hands. And Ellsbury is able to get around on it. That one's away. That's the one that was away. Now he comes in on the hands and jams him, and he hits the ground ball to second base. Here's the one inside. He jams him, and Cano just overran that ball. I mean, he had a chance to get in front of it, as you'll see here, but he just kind of overruns it and catches it behind him instead of catching it out in front of him.
An error for Cano.
And he's made so much.
Dustin Pedroia, and that's a called strike.
And he has really improved as a second baseman. I've watched him a lot this year, and he's really made the transition from being just a second baseman to a very good defensive second baseman.
You got two of the premier American League second basemen in this game. Pedroia, the MVP winner in the league last year, and Robinson Cano. And there's a fastball for a called strike, too. Now, Pedroia has not won any MVP awards based on what he's done against CC Sabathia.
No.
He's never had a hit against Sabathia.
Well, the percentages are in his favor because he's a good hitter.
I don't think anybody won an MVP based on what they've done against CC Sabathia, though, for sure.
0-2 the count. And a foul. Now, what about Sabathia's move? You got a guy who steals a lot of bases, 54 steals, only 8 times caught, and his next steal will be an all-time Red Sox record.
Well, what he's doing now, John, he's changed his delivery. That was not a slide step, but it was a quicker step. He's got a slide step, and I think he's trying to keep Ellsbury from realizing whether he's going to go to the high leg kick or just a slide step. So you can't steal on that right there because he's just taking it and throwing it to the plate. And if you can't get a good jump, you can't get a read. Now watch how quickly he goes to the plate. This is slow motion, but he just steps and throws. He's not giving you the high leg kick there.
Now, Jose Molina has a very strong arm.
Right.
And like his catching brothers, Benji Molina of the Giants, Yadier Molina of the Cardinals, he can be a weapon behind the plate. Now he's got Ellsbury picked off, and Teixeira throws him out. Jeter with the tie.
And he didn't go to the slide step there. That's what I said. He was changing his delivery motion to the plate. And that's great work there by CC Sabathia. And watch this time, he'll raise his leg up and go toward first base instead of just slide step into the plate. See, there it is. And that's caught Jacoby Ellsbury off guard because he thought he was going to slide step, and he was trying to read that and get a jump on the slide step. But just great variation there by CC Sabathia.
And handled beautifully by the Gold Glover Teixeira. And the ball is fouled away as Pedroia hangs tough.
Now, Joe, let me ask you this. If you're Ellsbury on first base and Sabathia's move to the plate was kind of the quick step to the plate, not necessarily a slide step, and then he hangs up and he brings his big leg kick, aren't you thinking to yourself, this looks different, feels different, I've got a hole?
Well, you should, but I think he was gearing himself for the quick, the slide step, and going to take off anyway. And when you do that, you're going on first move.
He's already committed.
Yeah, the first movement he was going on. First move that he made, he was going to take off.
Pedroia fouling off that breaking ball, and he continues to battle Sabathia here, falling behind 0-2, and he's fouled off several pitches.
Well, I'm just surprised that he's 0 for 9 because he puts the ball in play most of the time.
But he is out in front on the off-speed stuff. He's really kind of reaching for everything instead of like we saw with Jeter on the fastball, letting it get deeper into the zone.
Strike 3 called on the outside. He had fouled 4 consecutive pitches off, and Sam Holbrook rings him up. Ellsbury, or rather Pedroia, has a word with Holbrook about that call.
Well, he's always pitched Pedroia away, and I think he's got a little something going there. He just stays away from it. See, so Pedroia is always geared for that ball inside so he can drive it, and Sabathia stays away from him constantly. And then he struck him out several times with that pitch right there, called third strike, because Sabathia will get it out there and Pedroia doesn't go after it.
So 2 down, and here is Victor Martinez. 1-0. The Yankees lead on Jeter's first pitch home run. And a curveball a little bit high to Martinez.
When we talked at the trading deadline, I said I thought this was like maybe the #1 pickup. I know Cliff Lee has been great, but I think an everyday player put into this Boston lineup, he's really made a difference. He's been leading. He's led them in RBI since he's been here, and he is just a perfect guy to put into the third hole. And anytime you can bring a guy in from another team and insert him directly into your third hole, you've made a great deal.
And his versatility gives Terry Francona so many different options, whether he wants to catch him, play him at first base. It allows Mike Lowell to get a day off, to DH, give David Ortiz a day off. Really gives Francona those options now, and Theo Epstein some options in the offseason as to where they go in the future.
0-1 the count. There's Theo Epstein, executive vice president and general manager of the Red Sox.
A terrific job with this team. And, well, they thought they had a great plan with pitching depth, and it just shows you that sometimes the best laid plans often go astray, and it has a little bit with their pitching depth this year.
It's a strike on the outside. 2-2 to Victor Martinez. 2 down, nobody on. Kevin Youkilis would be next. There's Uke on deck. Big day for him yesterday. Ellsbury reached on the error by Cano, but then he got picked off by Sabathia. Jeter, it's going to be a long throw from the hole. In the air. Right there.
He does that better than anyone.
Derek Jeter, quite a showcase in the first inning at the plate and in the field. 3 up, 3 down after the pickoff. Here's leadoff homer with a 1-0 lead, and aerial coverage is brought to you by DirecTV. Get every MLB game in HD this season with DirecTV. I'm John Miller, along with Hall of Famer Joe Morgan and Steve Phillips, and the Yankees, the first place Yankees, coming up with Hideki Matsui against Josh Beckett, and he hammers one high and deep into right center field. That one is on its way and gone. A home run over the Boston bullpen and into the bleachers. A tape measure shot for Matsui, his 22nd home run of the year.
Well, in his last start against the Toronto Blue Jays, Josh Beckett gave up 3 home runs. You tack on the 2 today, that's now 5. And I'm a little surprised. Hideki Matsui is a guy who I think has sometimes difficulty to get the high fastball. You see Derek Jeter celebrating with him in the dugout there, and he gets a fastball up in the zone. This is a pitch that more often than not beats Hideki Matsui at 95 miles per hour, but he starts early, gets that foot down, hits against that front leg, an outstanding swing and drive out to deep right center field.
That's what you call looking dead red. He was sitting on the fastball, started early, and got to it.
And ball 1 to Nick Swisher. Well, the Yankees have been hitting a lot of home runs, but a lot of that has been at Yankee Stadium, where everybody's been hitting a lot of home runs, but they're hitting them here at Fenway this weekend, and Matsui has had a huge weekend as the sinking fastball is too low to Swisher. And Swisher is a guy who has 21 home runs, and almost all of them have been hit on the road. He's only hit 3 home runs at the new Yankee Stadium, 18 of them on the road. And he has reached base safely in 30 straight games, one way or the other, but not right here. Gonzalez, the new Boston shortstop, handles that one.
Well, on Tuesday, Beckett gave up 7 earned runs.
He gave up 1 to Randy Ruiz in the 2nd inning of the Jays, and then Travis Snyder in the 3rd. And then Rod Barajas in the 6th inning. He had only given up 5 home runs in 10 starts before that one, and then 3 home runs in his 5 1/3 innings in that ball game. He got roughed up. And he's given up 2 more home runs in the first 2 innings tonight. A leadoff homer by Jeter in the 1st, and then Matsui has led off the 2nd with a home run as Cano swings and doesn't get it. That one running down and in. A fastball out of movement on a little cutter. 2-0. The Yankees are leading in the 2nd.
Well, Josh Beckett, a creature of habit, like a lot of major league players. You know, he has a routine that he goes through in preparation for every game. John Farrell, the pitching coach, is typically part of that. So is Jason Varitek, his catcher tonight behind the plate.
In left field, there is Jason Bay on the warning track. 2 down.
In his start against the Blue Jays, though, John Farrell wasn't with the club. He had gone home to tend to with a family matter, and Varitek was a late scratch with neck spasms. So Josh Beckett went out there in his mind naked, without his safety valve of his pitching coach, without his normal catcher behind the plate, and he just seemed out of sync with Victor Martinez catching him behind the plate. And there really has been a story for Beckett throughout his career. He's had great success with Varitek behind the plate in 99 career starts, and has had not had the same kind of success when other catchers have worked with him.
And a curveball is too low to Melky Cabrera. Are you just saying this, or do you have figures to back this up?
Well, I want to know if he's buying into this catcher thing that's been going around here with Burnett and Posada and now Beckett and Varitek.
Well, I'll say this, you know, and you point to the fact that A.J. Burnett kind of talked about his discomfort with Jorge Posada yesterday. Josh Beckett wanted nothing to do with the conversation. He said it had nothing to do with who was my catcher. But the numbers indicate great success with Varitek.
That one is toward the wall and left. But at the edge of the track is Jason Bay. Cabrera retired. A home run by Matsui to lead off the inning. And the Yankees have a 2-0 lead as Kevin Youkilis, Jason Bay, and Mike Lowell will come up against Sabathia. Kevin Youkilis stands in for the Red Sox against CC Sabathia. The Red Sox are trailing 2-0. And a good fastball to the inside corner for a called strike at 95 miles an hour. Youkilis, 2 homers, 6 batted in here yesterday. 22 homers, 72 batted in for the year. His ops .991, second best in the league. I say ops. Some people say OPS.
Okay.
I go with ops.
What do you go with, Joe?
Some guys say ribbies. Some guys say RBI. I'm more of a ribby kind of guy.
I go with RBIs.
Yeah, that's me too.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
72 RBIs for Youkilis. That's a foul along the right field line. As we said, he got 6 of those 72 RBIs here yesterday. Bottom of the second inning, a 3-run homer against A.J. Burnett. And then in the 6th inning, another 3-run homer against Aceves, the reliever. So he was playing some wall ball here yesterday. He cleared that 37-foot high wall 2 different times. And those were backbreakers, 3-run homers. Now he got called out. By the way, it's Larry Vanover behind the plate, not Sam Holbrook as we were originally told, but we've done some checking, and that's Larry Vanover, and he called Pedroia on one outside in the first inning, and K-Zone, I think, thought the same thing here.
Well, Larry Vanover's a guy who does expand the outside part of the plate. We saw the pitch on Pedroia, and there's the pitch on Youkilis. Now K-Zone says that's a little bit outside, but Sabathia consistently hitting that spot, and Larry Vanover giving him the call.
I guess I could have told you Vanover was behind the plate. I went into the umpire's room today, and he was telling me he was going behind the plate. In fact, he was miking up. You could hear him right there when Youkilis was complaining. He said, that pitch, no way.
Yeah, well, we're very happy for you that you had that private information.
Well, I thought you knew.
Well, Larry Vanover's peeking in that Red Sox dugout as well. We saw Kevin Youkilis still a little bit frustrated with that call. And Larry Vanover, as he was squatting down behind Jose Molina on the plate, was peeking into the Red Sox dugout because he was hearing some chirping from there.
Jason Bay, the hitter. Bay had a down spell there for a while, but the last couple of weeks he's gotten it going again. He has 27 homers, 87 runs batted in at .257 batting average, and 7 home runs in his last 14 games. (2-0) the Yankees lead. They've hit a couple of home runs already. Sabathia, wow, he took something off on that one and struck him out, his 3rd strikeout already.
Well, in his last start against the Red Sox August 8th, he was leading 1-0 with 2 outs in the 6th inning. Jacoby Ellsbury got the first base hit, and then he strikes Pedroia out on 3 pitches. And then in the 7th inning, he strikes David Ortiz out, and he gets Mike Lowell to hit into an inning-ending double play. Nice toss there by Jeter and to get him at first base.
So here is Mike Lowell toward the wall. Damon back. It's off the wall, right off the top of the out-of-town scoreboard. Melky Cabrera not in time, a double.
And they played that perfectly, though. You can't make a play any better defensively than what was made there. What happened was they let Johnny Damon go for the ball, so he wasn't worried about the carom. And Melky Cabrera came over from center field to back him up and made it a close play at second base. Let's take a look. He's been staying away. This ball's on the inside part of the plate, and Lowell hits it off the wall, but a good job by Damon to go back and try and catch it. You see it's too high, but look at Cabrera. He's over there quickly, makes the catch, throws to second base, and makes it a close play as Lowell slides in safely with a double. Nice play there by the Yankees.
And a great shot. He clearly was safe. First base umpire Dan Asogna had gone over on the rotation to make the call. Melky Cabrera played that one well. Usually it's the Red Sox who play that wall superbly, but the Yankees look like those guys played here a few times. There's a base hit by Baldelli, and that will get Lowell home. So Lowell getting himself into second base, and that's why he was able to score the first Boston run of the night on this single by Baldelli.
Well, when Sabathia stays away, he's okay. When he gets the ball in the middle of the plate and down, these guys can handle it.
Well, Baldelli jumped all over him early in this at-bat, trying to be aggressive, knowing Sabathia wants to work ahead. Gets that first pitch over the heart of the plate, finds a base hit through the hole. Derek Jeter just can't range to it. And really, that's about the only spot that a single is going to score Mike Lowell from second base. He doesn't run well anymore, but it was hitting enough of a spot where Melky Cabrera had to run and track it and didn't have a play at the plate.
Lowell has had hip problems, hip surgery, somewhat similar to the problems that Alex Rodriguez has had. Here's Veritek with a foul, bounced back behind the plate, and the count is 0-1. But with 2 down, and you pointed this out many times, Joe, guys will try for second base in spots where maybe with nobody out or 1 out, maybe they wouldn't take it. They would think it's too risky, but Lowell did it, and that's the reason.
Well, that's that risk-reward type of situation, and the reward is you get yourself in the scoring position, and the risk is that the inning is over.
And that curveball in there for a called strike. Now, it is not unusual to see the Red Sox score with 2 down. Those are those precious 2-out RBIs. The Red Sox have scored a higher percentage of their runs with 2 down than any other team in the American League. 41.6% of their runs. 13 of their 14 runs yesterday were scored with 2 down in an inning.
Joe, what does that mean to you? I mean, you got a team that gets those 2-out RBIs. What does it mean?
It means that they're a veteran kind of team. They're a veteran team that knows how to hit in those situations, and they never give up the inning. See, I think that the real key is that a pitcher has to close out the inning. They won't let him close it out quietly. They don't go up there and just swing at the first pitch. Even with runners in scoring position, they're going to make him work, and that's a veteran team.
That's a fair ball. Baldelli was running. He's to third. He's going to be waved home. Here comes Swisher. The throw relayed by Cano. Not in time. Backed up by Sabathia. Veritek over to second, and this game is tied. The Red Sox doing it again with 2 down in an inning.
Well, that's good hitting there by Veritek. He saw that Vanover is giving the pitch away. You know, because Sabathia's had 2 called strike 3s on pitches away. And he just reaches out and pokes this ball inside the line. Now watch, he just reaches out there and pokes it inside the line for a base hit. Swisher comes up, fires to Cano, but they didn't have a chance to get Baldelli as he scores easily from first base. But good hitting there by Jason Veritek.
Well, it's interesting. Most teams tend to pound Jason Veritek inside nowadays. He just does not catch up to the good fastball. I think you do him a favor with something out over the plate a little bit, because he doesn't have that ability to catch up with the hard stuff up and over the plate.
Here is Alex Gonzalez, recently acquired from the Cincinnati Reds.
I think this is a good acquisition for the Red Sox as well. You know, he's a veteran. He knows how to play the game. Veteran player knows how to play. He may not have the greatest range, but he knows how to play shortstop. Plus, he can provide some pop every once in a while.
He helped beat the Yankees in that World Series in 2003 when he was with the Florida Marlins. And in fact, he ended a game. He had a game-ending home run in an extra-inning game down in Florida in that World Series. And he has a home run this weekend against the Yankees here. High and tight, and he chased it.
That's the first time that he's actually come inside and set up inside. Molina's been setting up on the outside part of the plate against all these right-handed hitters. But in this particular pitch, watch where Molina goes. He goes inside. He wants to pitch inside. He gets it inside. He gets the swing through. Because I think unconsciously they had started to look away on Sabathia because he was staying out there so much.
And even if you're CC Sabathia, if you're going to open up the outside part of the plate, you've got an umpire expanding the zone. To get there, you've got to back the player up inside and speed him up on that inside pitch in order to be effective away.
Veritek in second. They gave him credit for a double and a run batted in. Now it's 2-2 to Gonzalez. Gonzalez hit a home run here yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez for the Reds was hitting only .210 and missed a good portion of time with an injury. He's had 4 home runs all told this year. Center field, Cabrera, he's got it. With 2 down and nobody on, that's when it began. A double by Lowell, an RBI single by Baldelli, an RBI double for Varitek. Molina, then Jeter coming up.
Presented by Taco Bell. Brought to you by Chevy. And One A Day Men's, the official multivitamin of MLB, specially formulated for men.
Boston's Back Bay, historic Fenway Park, opened in 1912. Yankees Red Sox. First ball swinging, Molina. And Lowell throws him out, or rather, Youkilis is over there. Well, Lowell is the DH, and Molina is gone, and here comes Derek Jeter, who hit the first pitch he saw for a home run, and also his 2,700th hit.
Well, not a complete surprise. Jeter looking for a fastball early, and Beckett has shown that in the past. Hideki Matsui, he's tried to beat him with a fastball in the past as well. So you know what? It's not a surprise. Jose Molina went up swinging at that first pitch fastball, knowing Josh Beckett coming with the hard stuff early to start the hitters off and start the inning off.
His 4th leadoff home run against the Red Sox. He's tied for 2nd all-time in the Yankees in leadoff homers as he hits a base hit to center field. He's seen 2 pitches. Not many guys have had such an impact. Seeing only 2 pitches in a game, he's got a homer and now a single.
Well, they were trying to fool him, John. He hit a fastball the last time up for a home run over the right field wall. He come back with another fastball, and he goes right back through the middle with it. You know, most of the time guys won't think you'll throw him another fastball after you hit a home run. He throws him another one, and he just fights it off right back through the middle. This one was in a little bit more, and you can see Jeter kind of pulls his hands in and fights the ball off when it's middle in. But good hitting. He's swinging the bat so well. That's 2,701 hits now. A lot of hits.
There's a pickoff throw right into the body of Derek Jeter, or that one might have ended up going over toward the seats. The K-Zone brought to you by Ford.
John, you know what I'm surprised at? Lou Gehrig has 20 more hits than Derek Jeter in the history of the franchise. The Yankees have never had anyone with 3,000 hits. The long storied franchise like that, no one with 3,000 hits. You know, Boston's had a couple of guys with 3,000 hits. So it's kind of interesting that they haven't had anyone, and Jeter would probably be the first.
Johnny Damon, the hitter. And that pitch does not count. Timeout was called by the plate umpire, Larry Vanover. So 2,701 hits now for Jeter. And he is 4th behind Mantle, Gehrig, and Berra in games played in Yankees history. And his batting average behind only the Babe, Gehrig, Earl Combs, and Joe DiMaggio. Those are all pretty good names. Earl Combs was the leadoff man of the Murderers Row Yankees, 1927 era. And fastball on the outside at the knees for a called strike to Damon. And only the Iron Horse, the fabled Lou Gehrig, has had more hits in a Yankee uniform than has Derek Jeter. And we've been watching all these many years, we've been watching one of the all-time Yankee greats, Derek Jeter. 4 World Series rings for Jeter, but not many lately. The Yankees have not won a World Series since 2000. By that time, I think Jeter and Yankee fans everywhere thought maybe that they just win one just about every year.
Well, they start off the season, and it's a failure if you don't win the World Series, and that's really, I think, unrealistic expectations for a team. Regardless of the amount of payroll that you have, it's not that easy. And to think that every year you're supposed to do it, I understand making the playoffs, but to win a World Series, I don't understand it. I mean, they're looking for number 27 now. Mission 27 was what Joe Girardi said when he came in, trying to get that 27th World Series championship.
I can understand that that's your goal.
Yeah,
but to say
you
make the postseason and then it was a failure because you didn't win the World Series, I agree with you.
I remember the discussion with Jeter about that, though. He actually said that. He said, you know, in New York, if you don't win the World Series, the season is a failure. And I said, you sure about that? You better wait a while. Because remember, he was winning every year. And once you realize how difficult it is to win, then I think you have an appreciation for what you've accomplished before.
Well, I would agree with him and say, okay, you failed to reach your goal.
Yeah,
but maybe the season itself was not a failure.
Yeah.
Damon just trying to stay alive there, and he got a piece of it.
Well, John, we were talking, you and I were talking before the game about Jeter. And in 2006, Jeter hit .343, 14 home runs, 97 RBIs. I thought he was the MVP that year. He had 34 stolen bases, 118 runs scored. And that's not to say that Justin Morneau didn't deserve it either. But because I think every year there's always more than one person that's deserving of the MVP award.
Morneau won it that year.
Yeah.
Jeter did not, but Jeter playing a key position at shortstop, middle infield position. And
that's why I guess I was happy for people last year when Pedroia won, because he's a middle infielder and it's difficult to play that position. But Pedroia hit .326, 17 home runs, and 83 RBIs. I mean, if you look at the 2 seasons, Jeter's was much more dominant than, say, Pedroia's was at that time.
So Jeter did not win the MVP that year. Maybe a Yankee backlash.
Yeah,
that one is in there, base hit. Jeter around second. He's going to stop. Bay throws in behind him. Jeter back in safely. Johnny Damon, quite a battle there with Josh Beckett, and he prevails.
Well, he did. He fought him off and fought off some pitches away. You know, Johnny Damon's more of a slasher, a hacker at the plate. He doesn't have that pure swing, but he spoils pitches, just makes enough contact, and able to muscle this one into left center field. And Derek Jeter looks like maybe diving back, he might have dinged up his knee a little bit, going back into the bag there. And you see they set up inside, the ball kind of hangs up in the zone a little bit, hanging breaking ball. Beckett not happy with himself in that location, but because it was up, it allowed Damon the ability to give it some lift and get it over the infield.
Now Mark Teixeira, the Yankees home run and RBI leader, 31 homers, 92 batted in. He's 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out in the first inning. 2 men on in a 2-2 tie. And that little cut fastball is high and tight. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, we talked last game when we did the Yankees in Boston about how Teixeira stays on his back side. I think you'll find with Beckett, he'll try to throw the fastball up, and then he'll throw the curveballs, of course, down and try to break him out of the strike zone and get him to chase. But he will try to throw that fastball in and up on Teixeira if he can. There's a target. And again.
Gets it right in under the hands. Little cutting action on it at 94 miles per hour. A ball and a strike.
You know, it's interesting looking at the sequence of pitches as to how Beckett went through this Yankee lineup in the past. He really has gone a lot of fastballs to guys like Damon and to Jeter and Matsui and Cabrera. But when it's Teixeira and Alex Rodriguez, the fastball sets up the breaking ball. He gets him looking for that high fastball and then tries to break the curveball off that same plane.
Alex Rodriguez on deck. There's that curve, and it's a base hit to right field down the line. Jeter will come around third and score the go-ahead run. Damon to third as the ball is relayed in, and they give away second base to Mark Teixeira. Good heads-up base running. The ball was relayed to Pedroia by Baldelli, and Teixeira went ahead and took second base.
We've talked to Mark Teixeira a number of times about at-bats, and he remembers how he's been pitched to in the past, which a lot of the veteran hitters will do. That's how you make adjustments. And, Joe, we talked about the fastballs coming inside. You see Veritek set up and in. They come back in with that fastball again. Then here comes the hanging breaking ball. That's not the typical Josh Beckett curveball, the one that has that hard 12-6 bite. That one's rolling a little bit more than what we've seen in the past. You see the relay throw coming in. Mark Teixeira was going back to first base, but as the throw went offline from Baldelli, he ended up advancing to second base.
Yeah, Baldelli missed his relay man. Pedroia ended up being handled by Victor Martinez. So that took away the double play scenario. And if Teixeira had been held at first base, they could end the inning with a double play ball right here. But instead, runners at second and third, and now Alex Rodriguez trying to add to the total. Yankees back ahead 3-2, and Josh Beckett, much the way it was for him in Toronto earlier this week, he really did not have that good curveball, a good sharp biting curveball that puts people away.
Well, remember this, John, arm speed is what creates the spin on the curveball. I'm not sure his arm speed is up to his normal arm speed. I know it looks like he's throwing hard on the radar gun, but I don't see the same movement on that high fastball that I see a lot of times when I watch Beckett pitch. Very few people could catch up with it, and it was evident when Matsui was able to catch up with it.
And the fastball is off the inside to Alex Rodriguez. 2 balls, 1 strike.
A little more movement on that one.
3 straight hits here with 1 out. Jeter, then Damon. Damon's was a great battle. He fouled off some 2-strike pitches, and then he got the hanging curve and blooped it into left. Now Teixeira got another curveball. It didn't have that real bite to it, and he has knocked home a run with a single. And a foul ball down off the foot of Alex Rodriguez. Teixeira got a single and took second base on the throw.
One of the things to keep an eye on, Jason Veritek with his signals to Josh Beckett on the mound. He does a lot of touching and tapping. I asked him about that. He said it's different for every pitcher. Some guys like this, and because they play the Yankees so much, they have to change up the signals and the signs. But what he also does is he shifts very late to the corners. He'll sit up in the middle of the plate, which a lot of times makes a runner think he's going to throw the hitter a curveball, and then he shifts late and gets the fastball to the corner.
And A-Rod asks for timeout.
One of the difficulties you have when you do all that tapping and touching is when you don't agree on the sign, you've got to start that whole system all over again.
I'm going to show you something Tom Seaver taught me about pitching, and Veritek would be a perfect example to use.
Well, he went to the inside and then shifted to the outside at the last moment, and that one is just off the outside. 3-2.
What Seaver didn't like for catchers to set up very quickly like that as well. He always felt like what he did, he pitched to the shin guard. He pitched to the kneecap. If I wanted to lower and away, I'm going to pitch to his right shin guard. If I'm going to pitch it inside, I'm going to go to this shin guard. If I'm going to go away, I'm going to go to that shin guard. So it doesn't really matter where the sign is or where you set up, because that's where he wants the ball to end up.
And again, starting inside, now moves to the outside. To the shortstop, and that'll get a run home. Scoring is Damon from third base on the ground out. Teixeira stays at second, but Alex Rodriguez picks up his 66th RBI. It's a 2-run inning now, 4-2 Yankees.
And we talk a lot about Yankees Boston, but in my mind tonight's game is really Josh Beckett against CC Sabathia. Those two guys have to match up. It's like Koufax and Marichal, Koufax and Gibson. We talked about the team, but when those two guys went out there, they looked eye to eye and said, I'm going to beat you tonight. And that's what I like about both of these guys. I think they're trying to beat the other pitcher, not necessarily just beat the other team.
Here's Matsui, hit the first pitch he saw for a home run in the second inning. And a high fastball, but he lays off this one. And on appeal, no swing, says the third base umpire, Sam Holbrook.
Joe, I agree with you, the pitching matchup, but it seems to me that Derek Jeter always seems to interject himself in these kinds of games where it's supposed to be that great pitching matchup, that pitcher's duel. He always does something, whether it's that great defensive play, whether it's that getting a base hit, stealing a base, or hitting that leadoff home run.
And that's a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike now to Matsui. Well, Jeter has hit a leadoff homer. He's also hit a single. It started this 2-run rally. Scored 2 runs. Jeter's had 27 hits in his last 51 at bats in the last 13 games. We're at Fenway Park, Sunday night baseball. Yankees Red Sox, rubber match of the series. And the top 2 winning pitchers in the American League going head to head as that curve is off the outside. 2 balls and a strike. Joe was mentioning the Koufax Marichal matchup 44 years ago. That is the last time that there was a game with each starting pitcher under the age of 30, more than 100 victories, and a winning percentage better than 60%. Koufax and Marichal, 2 Hall of Famers, matched up at Candlestick Park 44 years ago yesterday. There is a sliding catch by Baldelli. That one had some sinking action to it, gave him some trouble. But 2 runs. The Yankees have put 4 on the board against Beckett in these first 3. Top of the order coming up. Third inning, Derek Jeter back at shortstop, but as you noticed, Steve, Jeter was in some pain after a play at second base.
Around second base, puts on the brakes on the base hit from Johnny Damon, dives back in there and gets in safely, but looks like he was limping a little bit after that. Now, he did foul ball off his foot in the Wednesday afternoon game. This looks like more it might be groin or something where he's trying to favor it a little bit, but he's not coming out.
Well, when he scored on the base hit, he was running pretty well, but
talking with Gene Monahan there, the veteran Yankee trainer, after he got back to the dugout. Here is Jacoby Ellsbury. He almost got hit by that CC Sabathia fastball. Ellsbury safe on an error his first time. He's tied with Tommy Harper for the most stolen bases in a season ever by a Red Sox, and he got picked off by CC Sabathia in the first inning after reaching 54 steals, 9 caught stealing. Ellsbury came into the game hitting .297, 6 homers, 43 batted in, but he's added something that is not a usual part of the Red Sox offensive repertoire. And that fastball is too low. 2-1 the count.
The Red Sox for a long time were part of the money ball philosophy where the stolen base really wasn't part of the equation, but because of the success rate of a guy like Jacoby Ellsbury, when they start to weigh the risk and the reward does far outweigh the risk, and they give him the green light.
Well, even with his caught stealing in the first inning tonight, He has succeeded about 85-86% of his stolen base attempts, which is pretty good.
Very good rate of success, no question about it.
Now, Joe, you stole 689. Is that pretty good? 85-86% success ratio?
Well, yeah, if you go over 80%. Most guys, 75 is acceptable for most guys, but if you're going to call yourself a base stealer, you should be over 80.
So 54 steals,
good.
9 caught.
Yeah,
so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Now, what was your career?
You know what? I don't know. You put me in there, but I don't know. But I put it this way: it was. I'm sure it was over 80, but I don't know what it was.
Because you were kind of a slow guy there.
By the end, but I picked my spots better then.
Now he's putting you on the spot, making you talk.
The other guys
yourself
didn't know. See, when I was getting on, they knew I was going. It was tougher. At the end, they didn't know if I was going or not.
But now Sparky Anderson let you just decide when you were going to steal.
Yeah. Sparky never gave me a sign. Not only did he give me a not steal sign, he didn't give me a sign.
Well, you earned that right, though.
Well, I'm not going to say I earned it. Maybe I did as we went along. But Sparky gave me that opportunity, and then it worked out okay.
And Ellsbury hits a foul as he hangs tough here against Sabathia. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
But I want to make sure that we clarify something here. We're talking about guys needing to steal 80%, and that's great. But a base stealer has more effect on the game, as we know, than just the fact of when he steals a base. He gets the guy behind him more fastballs. He opens up holes for guys because they're jumpy out there on the infield. So I don't know if you can really measure the impact that a guy that steals bases has on the game. Oh, man.
Strike 3 called. Ellsbury is called out on strikes, and there is one away. And let's go to Ryan Burr in the studio with the Sports Center right now. I knew the guy very well. Who was the other guy?
Yeah. We were doing the game, weren't we?
No. An unassisted triple play to end the game.
Oh.
The other guy was Johnny Noon. Back in the 1920s.
Okay.
Who later in his career, for a brief time, was a big league manager. Johnny Noon, and he ended the game, and he was a first baseman. And there was sort of a legend that grew up about his story. The runner, there were 2 men on, they took off, and he was ranging to his right and caught this line drive, tagged the runner going to second, and they just went over and ran to second and got the 3rd out because the runner from second couldn't get back to the bag in time. But the shortstop was covering the bag, calling to him to throw the ball. And his story was that Johnny Noon ran right past him and said, "I'm carrying this ball right into the Hall of Fame, my friend." Now, Johnny Noon said that never happened, but for many years he lived in Baltimore, and he was a scout. He was a paid scout for the Milwaukee Brewers into his 90s. Still went to the ballpark all the time, but every year, the anniversary of that unassisted triple play, he'd bring a little card and hand it out to you that had the little game story and the box score and whatnot. That was his claim to fame. He played in the era of Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb. Look out.
Well, it was interesting, the first 2 pitches in this at bat, Pedroia was going the other way. We've talked about CC pitching away consistently. Every pitch was away, so now he comes inside. Pedroia was going the other way, hitting balls down the right field line. So what does he do? He just straightens him up. And nothing malicious there, just letting him know that he doesn't want him leaning out there on the fastball, but they're going back inside again. The breaking ball. I'm still surprised.
That was off his leg, so it's a foul ball.
Yeah, just stay away from him and force him to go the other way. That's forcing a hitter to give in when he doesn't want to. We talk about forcing a pitcher to do something he doesn't want to do sometimes by sitting on a certain pitch. Pedroia was going the other way, and they decided to try to come inside there.
That's just so you talk about hitters. You say, all right, take a soft stride to the ball. But you watch Dustin Pedroia. He jumps at the ball. He's so aggressive. He attacks it when he goes out there, but he gets very jumpy, and it's amazing he's such a great contact hitter because he does have so much movement to get to the ball.
Well, he was hurting a little bit after hitting that foul ball down off his leg. A fastball is off the outside. He was called out on strikes his first time. And Sabathia has 4 strikeouts. 3 have been called third strikes. And a couple of them, Pedroia in the first inning, Youkilis in the second, had big beefs with plate umpire Larry Vanover about his interpretation of the strike zone.
And even though he's pitching well, his strikeouts per 9 innings is down this year. He was 9.05 or something for his career, but now he's down to 7 this year, 7 point something, and then he's becoming more of a pitcher, he says. He's not just throwing and trying to strike it out. There it is.
See, there's some part of the fact he might have a lot of run support too, and maybe he's more aggressive. He's getting a lot of run support from this Yankee team.
You see what he did last year, but his career he was higher.
And a foul back out of play. So Red Sox, as they often will, making Sabathia throw a lot of pitches.
Well, the reason that they make you throw a lot of pitches, not so much that they take all of them, but they will foul off a lot of pitches with 2 strikes. And we're seeing that with Pedroia. They fight the ball off. You throw it away, they'll fight it off down the right field line, come inside, they'll pull it foul or get a piece of it.
This will be the 9th pitch thrown by Sabathia to Pedroia this trip to the plate. Off the glove, a Teixeira base hit.
And you see he made the adjustment and kept going the other way, and he got the job done. That's his first base hit against Sabathia. He was 0 for 10, but he does a great job of fighting the balls off down the right field line and the pitches that were away.
The 9th pitch at bat with him. Ellsbury had 8 pitches in his at bat.
Well, these guys fight the ball off, but he knew that Sabathia was going to pitch him away. So he starts going away. There it is, away, just stays away. So he goes the other way. He's fighting the ball the other way, as you can see. And they decide to straighten him up. Then they throw him a breaking ball, go back away, and there go back away again. And he's going to finally hit a base at the right field on a ball middle of the plate away.
Now Victor Martinez, who grounded to short his first time, gets a called strike. So that's the 18th pitch in this inning thrown already by Sabathia. This is a meat grinder of a lineup to face the Boston Red Sox, and the same is true when you're facing the Yankees.
55 pitches on the game. You talk about the 3rd inning of the game. Best way to beat the other team's ace, get them out of the game.
A-Rod can't get it. Base hit. Pedroia stops at second. 2 men on, and the cleanup man Youkilis is coming up. Monday Night Baseball, presented by Holiday Inn, tomorrow night, 10 Eastern on ESPN. The Tigers and the Angels from Anaheim. ESPN News will be shown in the Detroit and Los Angeles markets. And on Wednesday Night Baseball, presented by Smirnoff Ice, it'll be the Rangers and the Yankees from the big ballpark in the Bronx at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. ESPN News will be shown in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Metroplex, and the New York City megalopolis.
You know, I'm going back through this lineup, and maybe Francona thought that Josh Beckett needed Veritek, because the reason Veritek's in this lineup, I think, is to catch Beckett. Because if you look, the guy that's had the most success against him is David Ortiz against Sabathia, and he's not in the lineup.
Youkilis called out on strikes his first time. 6 RBIs yesterday. Ooh, that one looked like a pitch to hit, and he fouled it straight back.
Well, you're right. David Ortiz, 304 batting average, 2 home runs in his career against CC Sabathia. But I talked to Francona, and he said those numbers are kind of from the past a little bit. They're not the same. And he said it used to be that left-handers could get pretty good at bats against CC Sabathia. But this year, hitting only .211 against them, which is why he sat J.D. Drew and David Ortiz. So you're right. He definitely wanted Veritek in the game, but he opted for Mike Lowell over David Ortiz in that DH role because of the strength of Sabathia against lefties.
But I would say that David Ortiz has been swinging the bat so well lately that I would give him a shot, because he's the guy. I think they really need him. In this homestand, things have gone well. They've hit home runs, you know, in this ballpark. Jason Bay is back hot, so things are okay. But I think you need David Ortiz over the long haul.
On the inside corner, beautiful pitch. Strike 2 called to Youkilis with Jason Bay on deck. There's Big Poppy, not in the lineup, just a spectator at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the last few ball games you see he's been swinging the bat well, driving in runs. I would have had a hard time sitting him personally, but that's why I'm not a manager.
0-2 the count to Youkilis. 2 men out. And out over the plate, but fouled away. Still 0-2. Yesterday, Ortiz, Red Sox scored 14 runs, and Ortiz played a little wall ball early on, knocked in a 2-out run, and then he sent one out and over the wall. And both of those against A.J. Burnett. He knocked in the first 2 runs of the game. And then that home run with nobody on base in the 5th inning against that man, A.J. Burnett, who really got lit up yesterday. 9 runs in 5 innings allowed. 0-2 to Youkilis. 2 men on, 1 man out. 4-2. The Yankees are leading. This is a double play ball. Jeter to Cano 1 over to first. 2, a double play. 4-2. The Yankees are leading as we head to the 4th inning. Swisher, then Cano coming up against Beckett. Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell. We're at Fenway Park, and the New York Yankees first place in the American League East. The Boston Red Sox in second place, but also the wild card division leaders. And the rubber match of the series, the Yankees have a 4-2 lead. Josh Beckett for the 2nd game in a row. Shaky. Nick Swisher and a fastball over the outside for a called strike. Swisher lined one to the shortstop his first time. Out on the left field wall, they post the American League Eastern Division standings. Tampa Bay was beaten today by the Texas Rangers. One of a wild card game there, with Tampa Bay 10 games out in the East, back of the Yankees. And the Rangers now 1.5 out in the wild card at the moment. And at the moment they are Yankee fans, but that won't last long because they're going to New York. The Yankees' next game will be Tuesday, the start of a 3-game series at Yankee Stadium against Ron Washington's Rangers, who have been a great surprise, and I think a pleasant surprise. They have a whole new culture down there, a whole new way of playing the game that we haven't seen from the Rangers in a long, long time.
But you know what's great, John? When you watch them, no team in Major League Baseball hustles more than the Texas Rangers. I mean, on ground ball, outs, on everything. They play the game the way it's supposed to be played. I mean, they really hustle, and I give a lot of credit to Ron Washington, who came in, and tried to instill that the first year or so, but it took him a little while to get it done. But when you watch them play, you see the players. I mean, they really look like they're enjoying playing, and that's what the game's all about.
Well, they got a shutout today from Scott Feldman, who went to my alma mater, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
Which was not Harvard. Let me just point that out. He was at the College of San Mateo as Pedroia throws out Nick Swisher, and there is one away. But he's a 13-game winner for the Rangers this year. And the Rays had won the first 2 games of that series. Scott Kazmir had a shutout into the 8th inning. The Rays held on to win it 5-3. The Rays won 4-3 in 10 yesterday. Carlos Pena had 2 home runs, including a game-ending home run. And then Feldman, he was the stopper for the Rangers today. 7 shutout innings against that very strong Rays offense. In fact, the Rangers play the game a lot like the Rays. Especially what we saw from the Rays last year. Defense, speed, pitching. They also have some power. Definitely. Always the power, but they're not relying solely on all of that power this year.
I think the teams that are more successful this year they have power. You need power to play this game the way it's played. But they're not just dependent on the power to win games. They play the game other ways. They can score runs in different ways. But what was fabulous today, watching Feldman pitch today, John, I mean, this guy, he knows what he's doing out there. A lot of movement on the pitches and just everything, in and out, up and down. I mean, he was magnificent.
Former submariner that's come up top now to pitch.
There's a cutter in under the hands. Cano fouls it. 1 ball and 2 strikes now.
When I look at the Texas Rangers, I think they made one of the biggest offseason acquisitions last year. And it wasn't a player. It was a pitching coach, Mike Maddox. They kind of bought him out from the Milwaukee Brewers, and he came down there and he has implemented a system with that team. He doesn't look for recognition. He stays behind the scenes. He works with it. But the pitchers have bought into it. Nolan Ryan is certainly there. He bought into Mike Maddox, having had him at the minor league level. And it has made all the difference in the world for that team. Pitching is the difference for them. That's always the thing. They've always been competitive to the All-Star break, and then they kind of fade away, and it's because of the pitching staff. And a lot of credit goes to Mike Maddox.
Well, indeed, that staff, and I don't, outside of maybe the Rangers clubhouse and the front offices, general manager's suite, that sort of thing, Nolan Ryan's office, I don't know that anybody else really expected them to pitch as well as they have. And Scott Feldman has been a revelation. He was a reliever who was a submariner, and then throwing overhand. They said, wow, look at that ball sink.
It's even better.
And
right?
he throws hard with great sink, and he has just been sensational. Did I mention my alma mater? Former College of San Mateo Bulldog.
Is there a fight song coming along with this?
I don't know. There may be now. John Wetland was an outstanding relief pitcher, of course, for many years. From CSM, too. That ball is driven deep into right center. It is a home run for Cano. Man, the ball is jumping out there. That's the second one that has cleared the Boston bullpen into the bleachers. Matsui did the same thing in the 2nd inning, and it is 5-2 Yankees.
I don't know if it's jumping, John, or these guys are making a jump. Now watch Robinson Cano. This is what I love about his game. I mean, he glides into the ball, just stays behind the ball. He glides into it. He doesn't jump into it. We're talking about the difference between him and Pedroia. They both get the job done, but they do it different. Look at that, just a smart stride. He just glides into it and takes his curveball. Look at that. Stays behind it, and then he just rips that curveball right out of the ballpark.
Melky Cabrera, 0-1 the count. Cabrera flied out deep to left his first time. That vision from K-Zone, brought to you by Ford. Cabrera, the 8th base hitter. 3 home runs for the Yankees in this game. All of them have been hit to right field. They haven't hit one over the big wall in left field yet.
They said that's too easy.
That's Ted Williams country out there. You hit balls into those bleachers beyond the bullpens. Melky Cabrera. And here is Pedroia. And that is the second out of the inning. Those bleachers, by the way, were added in Ted Williams' 2nd season. You used to have to hit it all the way into the bleachers to get a home run when Ted Williams first came to the big leagues in 1939. And they said, you know, he would hit maybe even more if it wasn't so far to those stands out there. So they put those bullpens in, and the the fans here in Boston, the newspaper writers and what, dubbed that bullpen area Williamsburg, because now you can hit one just into the bullpen and get a home run. But that's not what the Yankees are hitting them tonight. They're hitting them out into the bleachers as Molina takes a called strike. There's Williamsburg.
So they took that and made it a smaller area out there for him to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
And it's still a pretty good shot to hit it out there. 0-2 the count. Now Josh Beckett had not been giving up home runs until his start on Tuesday in Toronto. He gave up 3 in 5 1/3, and he's given up 3 more in this one. He only gave up 10 in his first 22 starts, all combined. And he had given up 2 home runs in his start before the Toronto outing. So all of a sudden he's having a hard time keeping the ball in the yard.
A lot of shame giving up home runs to this Yankee lineup, because they've hit him against everybody. There are 5 hitters with 20+ home runs. Robinson Cano will now 1 away from 20 home runs. 9 with 10 home runs in the lineup. They have really a circular lineup. There's no beginning or end. They all hit for average. They all hit for power. They can get on base. They can drive in runs. And Robinson Cano has had some difficulty with runners in scoring position. He's not had difficulty hitting the ball out of the ballpark.
It was his 19th home run. The Yankees have 5 hitters already with 20 or more. 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Cano needs 1 more to become the 6th on that list, which for a long time, 6 20 home run hitters in one season was the major league record. The Yankees did that in 1961 when they hit 240 homers, the year of Roger Maris hitting 61, Mantle 54. You see the 20+ home run hitters. Youkilis throws out Molina, and that's the inning. Now in 60 seconds we will visit with manager Joe Girardi from the Yankee dugout. Stay tuned. Back in 60 with Joe Girardi. The Yankees ahead 5-2.
New York Yankees. Joe, you there?
I'm here, Joe. How are you?
Okay. I mean, Derek Jeter dove back into second base, and he looked like he got up. He was grimacing. Anything we should know about?
No, he's okay. I think he just kind of dinged his ankle a little bit, but he's okay. He didn't even have a tape, so he'll be fine.
Well, I know this is a little bit out of the ordinary, but Jose Molina's catching tonight. There was a little controversy about Posada yesterday. Is that the reason he's catching, or was he due for a day off?
No. He caught 2 long games, and Jose caught CC the last time we faced the Red Sox at our ballpark, and did a great job, and has a real good idea what they did the last time, and I thought I'd hook him up.
Sounds smart to me. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
Joe Girardi, Yankee manager, and there's Jorge Posada. There were some comments that were made yesterday after the game by A.J. Burnett, and Burnett said that he really wanted to throw more curveballs than he did throw on Saturday. And Posada afterwards said, well, he really wanted to throw more fastballs. But then Burnett also did go on and say, I've had a great run with Jorge. There's nobody to point the finger at but me for the poor performance yesterday.
Well, in his last outing against Beckett in New York, he pitched great with Jorge catching, and he shut him out. The Red Sox out in that 15-inning ball game while he was in there.
Posada, as Jason Bay pops one up, Racing out is Cano. No. Jason Bay bloops one in for a single. Yankees lead 5-2. Mike Lowell will come up.
Well, you get a ball up in the zone, at least you have a chance to get it over the infield's head. And that's where pitchers, if you're going to miss, you want to miss down to the zone because you tend not to be able to lift it over the infielder. There's a ball up the zone hanging. You see Bay just kind of reach and extend his arms over it, hits off the end of the bat, and just flares out into right field beyond the reach of Robinson Cano. And a base hit for Jason Bay.
I have to say I'm a little surprised. That was the first pitch of the at bat, and to take a swing like that didn't. Normally Jason Bay tries to wait for a ball that he can get the barrel of the bat out in front of, because he's one of those guys that tries to hit the ball out in front.
Well, here's Mike Lowell, who has hit one off the left field wall already. And nobody with the Red Sox hits that left field wall or over the left field wall, either way, as often as Mike Lowell. He just has a stroke, seems to be just right for this ballpark. So his double in the second inning started a 2-run rally. Now they're down 5-2 as we play the fourth. And the fastball is in there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sabathia, by the way, threw 60 pitches in the first 3 innings of this game. So he wouldn't mind, and Joe Girardi wouldn't mind, I'm sure, if he had a quick inning.
Mike Lowell can also hit into a double play. 19 ground ball double plays this year, and that breaking ball down toward his back foot. He can top that one. Pound it to third for the double play.
And he lays off. Did he swing? No, says Dan Asagna, the first base umpire.
You can see the Red Sox start to creep on that ball away. And that's why Babe swung at that pitch off the plate. He was looking for a ball away. Sabathia threw it away. He still swung at it. You can see right there Lowell was kind of creeping toward that outside corner for that fastball.
Bay back to the bag at first. We're in the 4th inning. The Yankees have scored in each of the first 4 innings against Josh Beckett. One in the first on a home run by that man, Derek Jeter, the first pitch of the night. They got another in the second on a Matsui homer. 2 runs in the third, and then Cano hit a solo homer here in the 4th.
See, now they're starting to chase that ball away because that's where CC has been pitching them. And these are smart hitters. They're starting to look out that way and try to go the other way. Watch this pitch. He's going out that way automatically. See, he's trying to go to right field. We saw Pedroia do it, and he was successful on a 3-2 pitch. We saw Bay do it, and he got a little bloop out there. But they're looking for the ball away now on CC.
2-2. And the fastball fouled.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm surprised at some point they don't come back in with that fastball and try to lock them up, where you get hitters diving out over the plate, and they get that system and thinking, I'm going away. That's where they get that vulnerability to that fastball in that they end up taking for a 3rd strike.
Well, he actually threw him the first pitch in this at bat. The first pitch was a fastball, and he took it because he was looking away, and then everything else has been away, and he's gone out there trying to get it.
Change up, foul straight back.
But I still think, if you're CC in this ballpark with the short porch, these good hitters, I still think you're better off staying away from them, even with the fastball, or come straighten them up as he did with Pedroia. I don't think you need to throw strikes inside. I think you just need to keep them honest inside.
2-2 the count to Lowell. Rocco Baldelli on deck. Bay at first, nobody out. Curveball, strike 3 called, and Lowell knew it.
He kept getting the fastball away. He saw the changeup away. Then he comes in with the breaking ball, and they set up inside. Molina ends up shifting down inside a little bit. He came with a breaking ball to try to drop that one in there, and Mike Lowell was looking for hard away, and he ended up getting the soft breaking ball in. And you see they go away with a fastball there, Joe, as you talked about. Then he comes in with a little cut there. Back away with a fastball. He goes up and away by Mike Lowell. And again, getting him to think consciously, I'm going to dive out over there and reach for that ball outside. Then you come in with a breaking ball. You got him thinking it's going away, then it breaks in, and you lock up.
Here's Baldelli, and a called strike 1. Baldelli knocked in a run with a single his first time. 5 strikeouts for Sabathia. He has not walked anybody. Rocco Baldelli, longtime Tampa Bay Ray, won a World Series ring with the Rays, or an American League pennant ring anyway. They didn't quite win the World Series, but they did win that American League pennant. And then Baldelli, who is a New Englander, ended up signing with the Red Sox. Came home. He is a Rhode Islander. It's from the island. And that's in there for a called strike. The Red Sox AAA team is just down the road from Rhode Island, the Pawtucket Red Sox.
And I can also see why Sabathia's strikeouts have gone down, though, because he's not just powering that fastball through the strike zone. He's trying to stay out there on the edges. And to throw it accurately, he's not throwing it with 100% energy each time. He's just trying to make sure he spots it well, and he's doing a good job.
Well, but his strikeouts are going up tonight.
Yeah, well, he's getting he's getting that outside corner. He's getting them to chase the ball off the outside corner.
Well, 4 of the 5
Thought
strikeouts.
you had me there.
Yeah, that's right. Called third strikes on 4 of the 5 where they chased. They let it go off the plate early. He got confident to throw it off the plate, and then he's come back in to lock him up.
He does have 5 strikeouts in 3 1/3 innings, and 4 of the 5 have been on called third strikes. 2-2 the count to Baldelli. He has thrown 74 pitches in the game. And you'll see his numbers, even though he hadn't walked anybody. 2 runs, 6 hits allowed. Runner at first, 1 out. And a foul that will go out of play. Varitek is on deck. This is late August, and this season, CC is 4-0 in August. Going back the last 6 years, he's 19-2 in the month of August. He's won his last 10 decisions in August in the last 3 years. I'm starting to get convinced that maybe August is a good month for him. Way outside. The throw to first. Diving safely back is Jason Bay.
One of the throwing Molinas behind the plate. Jose Molina, Yadier Molina for the St. Louis Cardinals, leads all of the world in pickoffs for a catcher throwing from behind the plate, but that high fastball and turns his body and automatically just comes down throwing. Mark Teixeira looking for the throw, but Jason Bay reacting quickly, getting back in.
3-2 the count to Baldelli. Toward the wall. Down the line. That ball is a foul ball.
Johnny Damon wasn't so sure.
Yeah, it was close.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was foul if the fans caught it.
Like Johnny Damon saying, they kind of reached over the side of the edge of the concrete wall down there. Johnny Damon saying, I might have had a play on that one.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. I might have been able to catch the ball, and they interfered. But there again, he tried to come inside on Baldelli, and he was able to pull that ball. See, I think that's why Molina went back out there to talk to him. Man, we better stay away.
That was uncomfortably close to the Carlton Fisk foul ball down the left field line. 3-2 the count. The slider to A-Rod. He ripped it, but right to A-Rod. And quite a battle there from Baldelli against Sabathia, but Sabathia gets him.
Well, that's what you're seeing, John. You've talked about it. I mean, they are battling him. I mean, they're forcing him to throw a lot of pitches. And what he's doing, John, is he's using a lot of pitches to set the hitter up. CC Sabathia used to be able to overpower hitters after they got 2 strikes. Now he's using pitches to set him up. And they threw fastball away, tried to throw a slider there, and Baldelli was right on it.
Now Jason Varitek. Varitek doubled home a run his first time. And ball 1 outside. 5-2. The Yankees are ahead here in the last of the 4th. Boston had the 2 runs against Sabathia that briefly tied the game in the 2nd inning. Baldelli and Varitek knocked in the runs with 2 down, but then the Yankees promptly got 2 runs back in the 3rd to regain the lead, and another run in the 4th. Just off the outside. It's 2-0.
He's continuously staying away, and even to Jason Varitek, a guy who I think most teams in the scouting report, maybe not here at Fenway Park because of the Green Monster, but they tend to pound him inside with that fastball, but keeping it away from him. And he's doing what we've seen the other Red Sox hitters do, and that's kind of diving out and looking for that ball on the outer third of the plate.
Oh, he changed up.
He's got a great changeup. Like I say, he's no longer a thrower, an overpowering pitcher. He is a pitcher now. He changes speeds, and he changes speeds in good spots, John. He doesn't just change up in the middle of the plate. His change up to the right-handed hitters down and away like that one. And his fastball, he's tailing it away.
2-1. Runner at first. And 2 balls, 2 strikes, a foul ball out of play. Followed up that changeup with a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
But even there, John, we don't see him throwing the fastball up. We don't see him. Everything that he's throwing now is pretty much down. He's keeping the ball down. That seemed to be exactly where he wants to pitch now, rather than overpower some hitters upstairs.
Swings and misses. Verlander, Vasquez, and then Sabathia in all of Major League Baseball. Third for getting those hitters to swing and come up empty.
On the other side of it, Josh Beckett gets the most called strikes of any pitcher in the major league. So,
is that included tonight with CC?
Not me.
That's not the way it's worked tonight. In fact, Beckett, he doesn't have that called strike stuff tonight. And I'm wondering if it's because he really didn't have his curveball. His curveball, almost invariably, he's just been hanging it. And then a lot of times, that's his hammer. He can put you away with that big curveball.
Interesting here, Jason Varitek looks like he keeps creeping closer to home plate. If they're going to keep throwing me away, let me get a little closer and see if I can't reach the ball on the outside.
And I think that's what a hitter should do.
There goes Bay, and a high pop-up. Cano calls off Teixeira, and he drops the ball. Here comes Bay, heading home. He scores.
And you can see that about to happen. He was going over and he was looking at Teixeira, and he was not under control. Well, when the ball goes up, Teixeira goes out, and Cano comes over. Now watch, Teixeira's backing up, and all of a sudden, see Cano, he's not under control. He's running almost full speed over there, and when he did that, and he tried to stop, obviously you lose your balance. He was looking at Teixeira, and now he looks back at the ball, and he overruns it, and he falls down. He was not under control. You have to be under control, because once you get on your heels trying to stop yourself, the ball bounces on you, and that's what happened there.
Well, Jason Bay, good base running by him. He gets off. He knows, look, 2 outs, I'm going to go. He's running all the way. Well, it's a little slow around second base, but as the ball's starting to fall in here, he's finding out, look, I got to go all the way there. So he had the right intent as he started out, but kind of slowed down, assuming that the ball would be caught. Robinson Cano says that doesn't taste too good.
Well, he had a 20-yard sprint there, meaning Bay.
So an error by Cano, and Bay scores all the way from first. And here is Alex Gonzalez, another 2-out run for the Red Sox, but this one was a gift from the Yankees. Second error of the night by Robinson Cano. Alex Gonzalez hit a home run yesterday against one of the other new Yankee aces, A.J. Burnett. If he hits one now, this game will be tied. 5-3 Yankees in the 4th inning. And a pop-up.
I bet you Cano will fight anybody to get this one.
Well, the crowd was giving him the business, but he was very much under control.
Yes, he was.
We're going to visit with Terry Francona, the manager of the Red Sox, from the Boston dugout in 60 seconds. Derek Jeter will be coming up for the Yankees. We'll be back in 60.
5-3, and we go down to the Red Sox dugout, joined by Terry Francona. Terry, appreciate you joining us. And they're watching Josh Beckett out here. The trend of the home run, we saw it his last time out against the Blue Jays. A little bit again here tonight. What are you seeing from him on the mound?
Well, it looked like early on, they're hunting first pitch fastball, and they don't need help elevating the ball. It was a little bit flat, and they're getting it up in the air. And again, they don't need help doing that. And he left the breaking ball up to Cano. The big hit in the inning, Johnny Damon had a at-bat where we got ahead. He fights one off the left, and then we missed a cutoff man. Again, and we're making CC work hard, but we don't need to give him any more runs.
Well, let's talk about that offensive approach. Sabathia really looking like he's trying to work the outer third of the plate. What kind of approach do your hitters have going up there?
Well, I think Pedroia was a good example. He's staying away. Petey's going out there, and he throws that one about 95, right at his belt in to keep him honest. He knows what he's doing. He's a good pitcher.
Okay, thanks, Terry. Good luck the rest of the day.
Thanks.
Terry Francona from the Boston dugout as we start the Yankees' fifth inning. Here's Derek Jeter. And a check swing. Pedroia. And this time they get Jeter. Only the third pitch that Jeter has seen tonight. He hit the first one over the right center field wall for a home run. He hit the second one for a single in the third inning. That started a two-run rally, and this time he actually, right mid-swing, decided against it. Well, he hit the ball anyway.
He thought it was a fastball, John, and he took something off of it. Beckett took something off of it, and he tried to stop his swing. He thought it was another fastball, but it was not.
Now, the Fenway Park groundskeeper was on the field between innings talking with the umpires, and we also saw them do a little work almost as if preparing to get that tarp deployed. So we're wondering if there might be some kind of weather on its way to Fenway Park that would cause them to utilize that tarp. Usually the groundskeeper is tuned into the weather service, keeping an eye on that radar, and the grounds crew is ready to go if called upon here. So anyway, we're just sort of giving a heads up that there might be something headed this way. The hurricane missed Boston. It was early this morning, and I mean in the wee small hours of the morning, 100 miles or so off the coast of the Boston area, Hurricane Bill. But they did get a lot of rain and a lot of thunderstorm activity here in the Boston area.
Well, it's a little misty out there now, John. There are some drops falling.
1-2 the count to Johnny Damon, who had that big single that Jerry Francona was talking about. And this one is a base hit up the middle. He had a bloop single in the third that helped fuel that two-run rally. This one a single to center. And now Mark Teixeira. The power is coming up. Coverage of the Little League World Series continues on ESPN and ESPN2 tomorrow from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. First at noon Eastern on ESPN2. It'll be Mexico and Germany. Then at 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, Venezuela and Japan. And at 4 Eastern on ESPN, Warner Robins, Georgia faces Mercer Island, Washington. The Little League World Series presented by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes Reduced Sugar on ESPN and ESPN2 tomorrow. And that bat snapped right near the handle, and most of it ended up out on the baseline between first and second bases. And you see Johnny Damon picking up all the splinters out there.
Well, you can see Teixeira was sitting on that breaking ball. He got the breaking ball, but he was a little bit out front, and he broke the bat, hit it toward the end of the barrel. Seen a lot of bats shatter over the last couple of years.
Teixeira chases the high fastball from Josh Beckett.
That's more like the Josh Beckett that I remember. He throws a curveball, he's sitting on it, now he comes back with the high fastball. Because you definitely want to stay up with the fastball on Teixeira if you're going to throw it to him, especially in a fastball count.
Teixeira knocked in a run with a single in the third. That was the run that put the Yankees back ahead. They lead 5-3 right now here in the fifth. And there is the big strikeout curve, but did he get a piece of it?
Well, he got a piece of it, and he's wondering, I guess the question is whether he caught it or not. Teixeira's not sure.
He foul tipped it. Jason Varitek acted like he just got it on the foul tip. I like the question is, did the ball hit the dirt or not? Is what they're asking Larry Vanover to take a look at the ball. It's going to be very difficult to see, and he's saying no.
So there was no red clay on the ball? Is that the idea?
I think that's what he was looking for, but I don't know if that's awfully tough to find that
exactly.
The ball. Threw the big loopy curveball, took a little bit off the curveball. It's been about 77. You see Teixeira kind of get it. You talk about hitting that backside, and he got a tip of it, and I think Jason Varitek did get that one.
Well,
you think he trapped it?
Well, no, I think he caught it, but if the ball touches the ground, it's not a catch. He did catch it in his glove,
yeah.
But in the motion, it could have touched the ground. It could have. I'm not sure.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. But that's the kind of curveball we're used to seeing from Beckett with 2 strikes that just puts hitters away. I mean, it's hard to make any kind of contact on that hook, but he had not had that kind of a curve tonight.
Well, he's been casting that curveball where he at times leads with his elbow like you're casting a fishing rod, and it just doesn't have the same kind of bite when he does that. He had that problem against the Blue Jays, and he hasn't had that good bite on the breaking ball here. Now, the last one to Teixeira was about 74 miles per hour. He's been throwing about 77, 78 most of the night.
And this is not fly fishing. We're not in some trout stream here. This is big league ball.
Well, he was casting that curveball, and it has not been nearly as effective as what we've seen in the past from Josh Beckett.
And that's only his 2nd strikeout. So that tells you a little something right there.
Right.
Beckett, 149 strikeouts in 162 in the 3rd innings before tonight. So the strikeout has always been a big part of his repertoire. Back to the bag is Damon. Damon hit a foul ball off his right knee in the Friday night ball game and left the game. And back in there tonight, and he told the manager, Joe Girardi, says, I'm playing tonight. And Girardi said, well, have you run yet? Have you tested? He says, no, but it doesn't matter. I'm playing. So Damon also said, I'm not that fast anymore anyway. A-Rod with a foul ball. Back toward us. 2 balls and a strike.
You know what, a 2-0 fastball, and that ball was right down the heart of the plate right there. And Alex Rodriguez, when he's right, can deposit that ball way over the Green Monsters. You see them set up away, and that ball kind of tails right down the heart of the plate right there. Alex Rodriguez trying to shorten that stride to get that front foot down early enough to be able to deliver the bat to the ball.
His feet are way wide apart. Three and 1 the count. Well, the question we asked Joe Girardi about it before the game. Initially, they said he was going to have one form of surgery on that hip before the season started, and then they would likely do the whole big surgery that he needed when the season was over. You see how far spread apart his legs are there. That one is in for a ball strike. He went to the curveball. A 3-1 count. Now it's 3-2.
The guy will usually widen his stance, John, to try to stay back on the ball. He probably figured he was having a little trouble getting out on the front side. So what you do is you widen your stance a little bit so that your stride will not be as long. And he's strong enough to hit with very little stride.
Damon the runner at first. 2 down, 3 balls, 2 strikes to A-Rod. There goes Damon. Curveball. That one is deep. It is up. It is over the wall. A 2-run homer. The 4th home run of the game for the New York Yankees, and it is 7-3.
What you'll see here is what we're talking about, not much of a stride, and that's why you spread out. That keeps you back a little bit, and you have to be strong to hit from that wide stance. And as I was saying before, he is strong enough to hit without much movement. Let's take a look. There's the curveball for a strike. Now here's this home run. See, he just puts his foot up, puts it right back down. Watch the stride. See, he just picks it up, puts it right back down. And when you spread out, you can do that because you can generate bat speed with your upper body. And that was a perfect example there.
22nd home run of the year for Alex Rodriguez. And his 575th career home run. That was right down the left field line, just over the 37-foot high wall.
That wasn't a fly ball, that was a line drive.
And sometimes at Fenway, that'll cost you a home run.
Exactly.
A ball that maybe is even still on the way up. There would be a home run anywhere else. 575 homers, Mark McGwire ahead of him, and then Hall of Famer Frank Robinson. He just recently passed another Hall of Famer, Harmon Killebrew, on the all-time list of home run sluggers. 9th all-time. That one came back. Strike 3 called on the inside to Matsui. 4 homers in 5 innings for the Yankees against Red Sox ace Josh Beckett. Top of the order coming up for the Sox. Josh Beckett. They have scored in every one of the innings so far tonight. They lead 7-3. And CC Sabathia goes back to work to Jacoby Ellsbury. And a drag bunt attempt here, but he fouled it. He kind of got thwarted in his effort there for a drag bunt hit on a breaking ball from CC Sabathia.
Well, he'd been starting off with that high fastball, so he guessed that he was starting off with it again and try to drag it, but we mentioned CC is mixing his pitches very well.
He's had 5 strikeouts, no walks.
And that's how you go through a lineup a couple of times. You have to change your pattern.
Jeter. And he throws out the fleet-footed Ellsbury. There is one away. Now let's go to the studio. Ryan Burr with the Sports Center right now. Thanks, Ryan. And here is Dustin Pedroia taking ball 1. Pedroia has struck out and singled. The Braves in the National League East are 6.5 back of the first place Phillies, just as are the Red Sox back of the Yankees in the American League East. But the Braves are also in that wild card race, 4 games back of first place Colorado. Colorado had a big come-from-behind victory against Tim Lincecum and the Giants today in Denver. Shallow center, Melky Cabrera. And Pedroia is out number 2. So 2 down and nobody on. And both of the outs occurred rather quickly. Sabathia had thrown 84 pitches in the first 4 innings of this game. So 2 down, and here is Victor Martinez.
Well, with a 7-3 lead, it gives him a little more leeway there to just go right after the hitter and not necessarily have to hit the outside edges as he was trying to do before.
See, that's for me why I think its strikeout numbers are down a little bit. He's getting the more run support for the Yankees, where he can be aggressive in the zone and get those quick outs and don't worry about getting the strikeout and overpowering people.
And it generally, it takes a lot of pitchers to strike out a bunch of guys.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely.
Victor Martinez is grounded out and singled. 1 ball and no strikes to count. Martinez, and he was really shocked, I think, when he was told that he was traded by the Cleveland Indians. The only organization he had ever played for. They had signed him initially. He had been a shortstop. They converted him to being a catcher. And he, over the years, became the best hitting catcher in the American League, or certainly right up there with any of the best. He was a cleanup hitter for some Cleveland clubs that were very good offensive clubs. He's still fairly young, and now he's a Boston Red Sox, and I think that was hard for him to comprehend. And a fastball with ease for a called strike, and I think a compliment to the city of Cleveland and that Cleveland organization that he was moved to tears. He said he loved it there, and he would hope to spend his entire career there.
The Indians do a great job of putting programs in place of helping their young players grow into the major leagues. They really do get to know them as the person.
These guys were close friends and battery mates, and they kind of grew up together in that Cleveland organization. CC Sabathia, who used to pitch to Victor Martinez. He used to be CC's Jorge Posada, Jose Molina. Now he's trying to get him out. Opposite ends of this long simmering rivalry. Red Sox and Yankees, and he swung at it. That's the ruling by Van over the plate umpire, and Martinez is hot about it.
Well, Martinez wanted him to ask the first base umpire.
So even on a swinging strike, he ends up being called out by the plate umpire. 9-pitch inning for CC.
Presented by Taco Bell. Brought to you by Budweiser. Reach for the perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the great American lager. Mazda's summer drive-off event. Drive off with the best deals of the summer on a fun-to-drive Mazda. And Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together. perfect combination of flavor and refreshment. Budweiser, the Great American Lager. Mazda's summer drive-off event. Drive off with the best deals of the summer on a fun-to-drive Mazda. And Lowe's, for all your home improvement needs. Lowe's, let's build something together.
High fastball from Josh Beckett for a swinging strike by Nick Swisher, who is lined out to short, grounded out to second. A switch hitter batting left-handed. Robinson Cano and Melky Cabrera will follow. And that one, an off-speed pitch with a lot of movement running way off the outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. A remarkable evening for the Yankees. 4 home runs in the first 5 innings against the Red Sox ace, Josh Beckett. That's smoked to Victor Martinez, and he's got it. 1 away.
Nick Swisher's actually made some pretty good contact in this game, lining out to Alex Gonzalez in the first inning, and then now getting another good piece on the ball. And Victor Martinez, you see him get set for the pitch. The reactions, the nice pick on the backhand and taking it himself. And Nick Swisher not getting a lot to show for hitting the ball very, very hard in this game. And how about that for a guy who can handle himself behind the plate catching and go down to first base and pick a shot in the dirt right there. That's some versatility that will be a big value for the Boston Red Sox this year and in the future.
And he was not very happy just a few moments ago when the plate umpire Vanover said he had swung and missed at that last pitch. He thought he had checked his swing and had a little argument there with Vanover.
I saw that Josh Beckett curveball right there. Another just rolling curveball. He just cannot seem to get on top of it and get the bite and pull that ball down. Started at the knees or the middle of the zone and break it out of the zone.
Here's Jason Bay. Probably a base hit just about anywhere else. But left field has played very shallow here because left field is very shallow. 2 down.
And John, we've talked about Cano, how much he's improved. He hasn't played as well tonight, but he makes such great decisions on a double play. Now, this is a tough double play because Jeter backs up on it. Now he gives him the soft toss. Look how he comes across the bag quickly, and look at that release. He gets rid of the ball so quickly, and he's got such a strong arm. I mean, most guys, when they get rid of it quickly, it floats to first. When he gets rid of it quickly, it's on a line.
It almost looked like he was so quick on that one that he wasn't even on the bag at the point where he actually caught that throw from Jeter.
Well, I mean, he looked like he timed it.
That is quick.
That's quick. Those are quick feet right there.
From up here, though, John, it looks like he timed it perfectly. See, look at that. That's perfect timing. Comes across, avoids the runner, and just that's poetry in motion right there.
That is the quintessential phantom tag.
That was beautiful.
Are you saying that's the way you used to do it?
No. I didn't have a strong arm like that. I had to step on the bag and jump across because I didn't have that strong, quick arm. I don't know many infielders that have a quick arm like that. He's got a shortstop's arm on the second base side.
Manny Del Carmen up in the Boston bullpen. Cabrera to Pedroia.
I was more like that, John. Like Pedroia. Come get it and throw him out.
That's the first thing I thought of there. That was just like Joe. Youkilis, Bay, Lowell. on 4, swings to the bat here in the 3rd.
Well, I've never seen anything like that, John. I've never seen 4 home runs in a row.
Yankees Red Sox, seen here on Sunday Night Baseball. A couple of years ago, the Yankees had a 3-0 lead when Manny Ramirez, J.D. Drew, Mike Lowell, and Jason Varitek homered in succession. 4 straight batters, 4 solo homers, and suddenly they were ahead. Again, it's part of our 20 years of coverage on Sunday Night Baseball and on ESPN. We're back to 1990. Stay tuned. A little bit later tonight, we will also announce the 3rd baseman on our 20th year All-Star team, as voted on by you at ESPN.com. CC Sabathia has struck out Kevin Youkilis and has gotten him to hit an inning-ending double play ball. And 2 low, 1 ball, 1 strike. The Yankees here in the 6th inning for the first time tonight do not score. They had scored in each of the first 5 innings of this game, which I don't know, that may be something that's never happened to Josh Beckett before. 7-3, the Yankees are leading. Into the gap in left center field. That goes through to the out-of-town scoreboard right off the Cardinals-Padres game. A double for Youkilis.
Kevin Youkilis is such a good hitter. He covers the whole plate, and that's not an easy thing to do with Sabathia as hard as he can throw. And you take a look at them setting up away with the ball down in the zone, able to go out and get it, pull it into the left center field gap. Good piece of hitting right there. Stays on the ball, doesn't try to do too much. Thinking about going right back up the middle, allows him to stay on it. On that ball down and away, and rip it into the gap.
And that look from K-Zone brought to you by Ford. Here's Jason Bay, who has struck out and singled and scored a run. And that changeup in there for a called strike from Sabathia. Got the high strike there. The Yankees, without Alex Rodriguez, had a losing record before he came back into the lineup. They were 13-15, 64-31 since A-Rod's return. But also, although the A-Rod obviously is a presence in the lineup, but they were scoring the same number of runs before that as they have scored since then. But their pitching has been much, much better. They've gotten the bullpen situation straightened out. We asked Joe Girardi about that before the game, and he pointed to that bullpen. But also Sabathia started the year very slowly, as he often does. And then he picks it up as the season goes along, and especially in the month of August, where it's been a long time, 3 seasons since he has lost a game in August.
John, about 4 starts ago, he had given up 5 runs in 2 consecutive starts, and he said to the guys, it's going to get better. And since that time, it has been better. I mean, that tells you a little bit about him and his mindset. He was able to stand up and say that. See, I always believe that, when we talk about leadership, we talk about leaders. See, I believe a leader is a guy that says, let's go, when he's walking to the plate to hit, not when Barry Bonds is walking to the plate to hit. It's easy to say, let's go, when that guy's going out there. But when you are a leader and you're one of those guys, you say, let's go when I'm going to the plate. And that's what CC was saying. He said, it's going to get better, guys, and I'll be the guy for you.
And I think the other thing about it is he held himself accountable. I mean, what CC Sabathia said is, this isn't good enough. I know I'm better than this. I have to go out there and make some adjustments to get myself back on track. And the biggest adjustment he made was being more aggressive with the fastball, working ahead of the count, pounding that fastball, and then working his other pitches off of that. And that's where I think why we saw early on the Red Sox hitters looking for that first pitch fastball, because they've seen the reports of Sabathia being aggressive, throwing that fastball early, and they try to jump on him early.
Well, also Sabathia, when you talk about leadership, he sort of organized an effort in the clubhouse when Alex Rodriguez came to spring training and had the big press conference about the use of performance-enhancing drugs, and which he admitted to, and that is strike 3 called to Jason Bay, the 7th strikeout for Sabathia, the 5th that has been on a called 3rd strike. But Sabathia went around the clubhouse and said, we all have to go and support him at this press conference to know that he's on this team and we're his teammates and we're behind him. He also, early in the year, they had a game in Cleveland Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James and company, were in the playoffs.
I was watching that game.
And Sabathia arranged for tickets, and more than 12 of the Yankees ended up watching that game together on a night off in Cleveland. Lowell, a pop fly. Jeter out. And Damon, no. And over to third base goes Youkilis. Nobody can quite get to that one.
Well, a great effort by Damon to come in and make the play. It was a little too deep for Jeter to go out and get it.
We're seeing Alex Rodriguez kind of moved over toward the shortstop position. I think if he had been back at third base, Melky Cabrera might have had a play by trying to get Kevin Youkilis. And you see Jeter kind of giving up, realizing he's not going to get there. Johnny Damon's going. He makes the dive, and look at where look at Alex Rodriguez right here. If he's back at the base, you might get Kevin Youkilis, and Melky Cabrera comes up, picks up the ball, and he has no chance to make an attempt at Youkilis going to third base. Good base running. Alex Rodriguez out of position.
It was odd.
Yeah, but you have to be careful, because if he throws that ball to third base, it would allow the runner to go to second, because he was standing up there halfway ready to go. But if Alex is there and they got a clear shot, then you take it. But you can see Alex Rodriguez was pointing at second base too, because you want to keep the double play in order if you can.
Here is Rocco Baldelli. He has singled home a run and is lined out to A-Rod at third. Ball one is Sabathia. He's over 100 pitches for the night, and most of them have been delivered under duress. The Red Sox have had 8 hits against him. There have been a couple of errors committed behind Sabathia. He's not walked anybody. 10 men have reached, though. Right field. Tagging up at third is Youkilis. Swisher, who does not have a strong arm, takes it. And Youkilis trots home with the 4th Boston run. Sacrifice fly. The second RBI of the night for Baldelli.
Well, good job by Baldelli just to make sure he gets the ball into the outfield and not hit a ground ball and end up getting into a double play and leaving the runner at third. Everybody wants to get a base hit with that runner at third, but the most important thing is to make sure you get him in if there are less than 2 outs. Get the ball to the outfield.
Now Jason Varitek against Sabathia. Varitek singled home a run. Actually, they gave him credit for a double back in the second inning, and he reached on an error by Cano in the 4th. Just off the outside, ball one. 7-4 Yankees. And what happened to our pitching duel? Weren't we expecting 1-0?
I wasn't.
Well, pretty good lineups as well that grind out some at bats.
Too many good hitters in both lineups for it to be 1-0.
And that is a ball outside. 2-0.
As Derek Jeter, he led off the game with a home run. First pitch he saw, hit it over the right field wall for a home run. Cano hit a curveball into the bleachers in right for a home run. There's A-Rod. He hit a 2-run homer.
He's the only one who went over the left field wall. Pop fly. Cano out. Swisher in. 1 run for Boston, and we head to the late innings. Yankees with the advantage. Molina and then Derek Jeter coming up. 7-4. The Yankees leading the Red Sox. 7th inning against Josh Beckett. Jose Molina leads off. He's in the lineup rather than Posada, who gets a night of rest. And strike one swinging. And an off-speed delivery there from Beckett. Derek Jeter on deck. Johnny Damon due up 3rd in the inning. Josh Beckett allowed runs in each of the first 5 innings. And we did some checking with the Elias Statistical Bureau. And that had never happened to Beckett in his career until tonight. Never allowing 1 run or more in each of the first 5 innings of a game.
That really speaks to the Yankee lineup, that there are threats up and down the lineup, and it doesn't matter if where the inning ends. That next group of hitters coming up have ways to get on base, advance the bases, and score runs.
Strike 3 call to Molina, and that is the 4th strikeout for Josh Beckett, and Jeter is coming up.
Josh Beckett, we talked about, he has certain hitters that he'll attack with the fastball, and other guys he'll go at him with the off-speed stuff. And with Derek Jeter, he went at him with a fastball. He's done that throughout his career, trying to get him. Hideki Matsui, same thing. Matsui tends to be vulnerable to that high fastball. Back to the fastball with Jeter, but the middle of the lineup guys, Mark Teixeira, Alex Rodriguez, those are the guys he goes to the breaking ball with. But that pattern, the Yankees hitters have been on the pattern. Jeter in his first 3 at-bats of this game today has swung at the first pitch. That's the first pitch he's taken in this game.
He has homered, singled, and on a check swing, grounded out. Hitting .333 for the year. And that one, did that miss him?
Yeah, I think so.
It's supposed to be some kind of an off-speed pitch.
Well, you might want to tell Derek Jeter that. He was just getting out of there. The ball started at him. Jeter dives in, seeing he has to get back out of the way. And if that would have been a fastball, it definitely would have hit him.
2 balls and a strike to Jeter. It's interesting, Jeter now has 27 hits in his last 52 at-bats. 6 3-hit games in a row at one time in that stretch. Disappeared up there. Strike 2.
That's a good 2-seam fastball right there, and that's you think about that pitch different than all the others in this game. There was so many fastballs and curveballs up in the zone, and it's one of the first 2-seam fastballs that he's buried, starting at the knees and then sinking out of the zone.
2-2 to Jeter. 1 out, nobody on. Johnny Damon is on deck. 7-4. The Yankees lead. That is the high riding fastball fouled. The rooftop boxes off to the right. In the bullpen, Manny Del Carmen is up again. He had been up a little bit earlier. 4 home runs for the Yankees. Jeter, Matsui, Cano, and Alex Rodriguez have all gone deep against Beckett. And that's a foul. Now Beckett, the year he first came to the Red Sox, was a very disappointing season. 2006. He ended up allowing 36 home runs that year, and his earned run average for the year ended up a little above 5. But then he came back in 2007, and he was a 20-game winner, and in the big games in October he was almost untouchable. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Jeter to short. Alex Gonzalez just got it. So there, Jeter doesn't get a hit every time.
You try to figure out baseball, though, and yesterday the Red Sox win 11-1. Well, the Yankees end up with 16 base runners, and only 1 ends up scoring for the game. Today, 8 base runners have reached base, and 7 of them have scored. That's the difference of the home run ball.
And the only one that scored yesterday was Nick Swisher,
right.
His home run.
16 base runners here yesterday. What do they have? 12 hits, 1 run.
It's a funny game.
And that is a strike on the inside.
You know, I've always said that that's the great thing about this game. Every day a different game breaks out. I mean, it may be a 1-0 game, a 2-1, 3-1. No 2 baseball games in a row are ever going to be identical. I mean, it's just amazing how that works. And a lot of it has to do with pitching, of course.
It may be 20-11.
Yeah.
That is a 3-up, 3-down inning. Beckett has retired 7 in a row. Trailing by 3. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball from Fenway Park, presented by Taco Bell. It has been an action-packed weekend. Yankees and Red Sox, 20-11 Yankees on Friday, 14-1 Red Sox yesterday, and so far 7-4 Yankees this evening. So the Yankees have scored 28 runs in these 3 games, but they have allowed 29. That's a lot of runs in 3 days, even for Fenway Park. Now the Red Sox have not hit a home run tonight, and we mentioned that because in their last 8 games they've hit 2 home runs or more in all 8 of the games. And they could tie a major league record if they were to hit 2 tonight. The record is 9, including the Yankees earlier this year. Back in May, the Yankees had 9 straight games with 2 home runs or more. The Baltimore Orioles have done that a couple of times in their history, back in 1987, 1996. I believe I broadcast all those games.
Did you?
I did. In 1987, in May of that year, Baltimore had a stretch of 25 games. They had 58 home runs, and 9 in a row with 2 or more. This is Alex Gonzalez against CC Sabathia, and that was pitch number 109 thrown by Sabathia in this game. The Yankee bullpen is getting ready, and of course you're getting to that time as you see Phil Hughes, the big right-hander, who has been great in the bullpen and has been a key reason why that bullpen has been so effective as the season has gone along. He wasn't out there earlier on, and they were having a hard time bridging that gap between the starter and Mariano Rivera. And then Phil Hughes came along, and he has helped fill that gap beautifully. Leadoff man Jacoby Ellsbury on deck. That's a little bit low. 3-1.
Well, they took Phil Hughes out of the rotation, and Chim-Ming Wang came back. They put Hughes in the bullpen with the thought that it was going to be a short-lived stint, that he was just going to back up Chim-Ming Wang for a couple of starts. But they gave him the ball. He did well. They gave it to him again, and then his confidence grew, and he has that overpowering fastball and outstanding curveball.
Sabathia. I don't know if he caught it or it caught him. Either way, it worked out nicely for him. 1 away.
Well, let's take a look at Sabathia tonight. CC has not had a real pattern. He's thrown some off-speed pitches. He's changed up off the end of the bat to Leighton Varitek. There's the slider to strike Ellsbury out. And there's a little slide piece. That's a fastball, actually. There's a change up away. I mean, he's been all over the strike zone, in, out, up and down with the changeups. But basically, the fastball has been away tonight. And there you see his high this year, 123. He's at 112 now. They're trying to get him through this inning and then give it to Phil Hughes, as you mentioned, John.
Well, one thing Joe Girardi did say to us, though, that he's not afraid to have Phil Hughes get 4 outs or get 5 outs. A guy who was a starter in the past, he feels like he can go into the dugout, sit down, come back out to the mound, having had that experience being the starting pitcher.
And they don't have a game again until Tuesday when the Texas Rangers come calling at Yankee Stadium. So he didn't have to worry about who's going to pitch tomorrow if they have a lead late in the ball game. Jacoby Ellsbury has been safe on an error, but then he got picked off back in the first inning. He has also struck out and grounded out. 0 for 3 in the game. He's still tied with Tommy Harper for the Red Sox record, 54 steals in a season.
You're looking at one of the most improved guys the last couple of years. He has really improved as a hitter and as a baseball player.
One of those 54 steals, by the way, was a steal of home on Sunday Night Baseball against the Yankees.
Well, if he could have gotten to third tonight, he'd have had another left-hander out there to try it against. It was Andy Pettit on the mound when we were here.
And Pettit pitching and Posada catching. And he surprised them both. Look out. Did that hit him? Or it hit the bat, apparently?
Hit the knob of the bat. He's got to learn how to sell that one a little bit. Shake your hand and see if you can't get down. that fastball up and in has really been a nemesis for Ellsbury this entire game. Sabathia's throwing him up and in there a lot, hitting right off the knob of the bat right there. And what he's then done is he's gone with a curveball, almost starting at the same spot, getting Ellsbury to kind of flinch and get that jelly leg a little bit and give up on the pitch.
I think with 2 strikes, you got to sell that.
So you mean
you got to sell that hard?
You mean it hits the bat, but you're like, oh my hand! I hope it's not broken.
Absolutely.
Ouch! Ouch! Ouch!
Yes, crying would help too.
Ouch! 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 Oh! Yeah.
Well,
okay, not there. That's a long time.
You know,
all right.
He's going to get that big sweep and breaking ball here right now too, and he may be walking back to the dugout crying because you know what? That fastball up and in can lock you up if that ball ends up breaking away.
Well, what happens is a good left-handed pitcher, they'll go right this much break on one, and then the next one they'll really snap it off and start it in the same spot. You can't stay there.
I guess there's no crying in baseball, is there?
There it is.
Uh-oh. Well, that would make you cry, wouldn't it?
It would.
Well, the problem is he knows it's coming at some point. You know, that's the problem.
And you can't do anything about it.
Nothing you can do about it. He's set you up so well with the fastball, there's no way you can sit there looking for the breaking ball.
Well, that was the hammer. And that may be the final, and it is the final pitch of the night for CC Sabathia. Joe Girardi has taken the ball, and he's going to the bullpen. So Sabathia finishes with a flourish. And one of the best breaking balls he broke off all night was strike 3 to Jacoby Ellsbury. Pedroia coming up. Phil Hughes in from the Yankee bullpen with 2 down in the 7th. 7-4 Yankees. We'll be right back. This is the 902nd game at Fenway Park between the Red Sox and Yankees. Fenway opened in 1912. The Red Sox haven't won as many World Series as the Yankees, but they have won more games than they've lost against the Yankees here, going back to 1912. Also been 4 ties. And of course, if you have an official game, 4.5 or 5 innings have been played, and you end up getting rained out, something like that, then in the old days that whole game would just be replayed. So the game would exist, not included in the standings as a tie game. There's no such thing as a tie game in baseball. Here is Pedroia, and he takes a called strike from Phil Hughes. Hughes, a guy they thought was going to be a star as a starting pitcher. That never really happened, but it looks like he's going to be a star as a relief pitcher.
75 strikeouts in 69 innings tells you that he can bring it.
Pedroia with a foul ball. CC Sabathia, 6 2/3 innings, 118 pitches. He allowed 4 runs, 3 earned on 8 hits, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. Not many pitchers go through a whole night without walking any Red Sox.
Over his last 7 starts, CC Sabathia, 7 walks, 49 strikeouts over the last 7 starts. So he has been pounding the strike zone.
0-2 the count. And the curveball misses. Now, it's been a sort of an emotional week for Sabathia. He went home. He's from the San Francisco, Oakland Bay Area, grew up in Vallejo, and he pitched in Oakland on Tuesday at the Coliseum. That's always emotional. He had to buy 150 tickets for all the family and friends I had no idea he was that popular in Vallejo. 150 tickets, and he said it was kind of an exhausting few days in Oakland. So many people to see, so many tickets to leave. But he also, the day after he pitched on Wednesday, went back to his old elementary school at Vallejo. And he and his wife distributed school equipment for the kids going back to school. Pedroia lines out. The inning is over. Pedroia now 1 for 4. And we're going to the 8th inning. Josh Beckett heading back for more. Teixeira, then A-Rod coming up. Sabathia's finished.
Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And in part by Kevin Woodstains, our performance is legendary. And Lincoln Mercury, let Lincoln Mercury recycle your ride.
Yeah, ball 1 from Josh Beckett to Mark Teixeira. Top of the 8th inning, Yankees 7, Red Sox 4. Teixeira has knocked in a run with a single. Pops this one up. Youkilis. 1 away. Alex Rodriguez coming up.
We talked about Mark Teixeira and how he stays on his backside. And watch this. This is the new angle for the power hitter. It used to be you could draw a middle there. That's not the way it is anymore. And you see how he stays behind on his backside, even as his foot comes up in the air. Now watch A-Rod. He just kind of picks his foot up, puts it back down, and he goes to his front side. See, his weight goes to his front side. It's coming off his backside. And that's the difference between those two guys as hitters. You see that you can pitch Teixeira up because he drops his back shoulders so quickly. A-Rod, you can't pitch him up as consistently as you can Teixeira.
A-Rod 3 RBIs tonight. He hit a home run over the left field wall in the 5th inning. And that was the last time the Yankees scored. That was their 4th home run of the night against Beckett. And he hit it over that big wall, the green monster in left field, right down the left field line, close to Carlton Fisk's foul pole. A-Rod also delivered a run with an infield out in the 3rd inning. Curveball fouled and out of play. He hit a curveball for the home run back in the 5th inning.
Well, that's how you go through a lineup, get them thinking and looking for pitches, and you can still get away with it. Because he hit the home run off the curveball, he was probably not looking for a curveball. So he throws him another one, and even though it wasn't a good curveball, because he wasn't thinking curveball, he fouled it off instead of hitting it over the wall again. Whereas before, he was looking for the curveball after he had thrown him a couple.
And that curve was in the dirt. The count is 2-2. You know, Tom Seaver, your old teammate.
Yeah.
Taught you a lot about the art of pitching.
Correct.
They'll carve it up in the Boston bullpen again. He was saying that in a blowout, sometimes he maybe had an 8-1 lead, whatever. And he might have thought, I think I could have get this guy out in a certain pitch.
But I'm throwing the other one.
But he would try to see if he was right. And that strike 3 call to A-Rod. Came back with the fastball. The 5th strikeout for Beckett. 2 down.
They were throwing him so many curveballs, and Alex Rodriguez fought off the one earlier in the bat, and I think he was looking off speed. And, we see Josh Beckett later in this game is going to the 2-seam fastball with much better action and starting it at the knees. So where it hasn't been as effective as you'd like, he at least is starting to figure some things out here in this game, and that's where you want to throw that pitch. Down in the zone on the outside corner, tail it back in just a little bit. Outstanding pitch. Alex didn't like it.
Yeah, that wasn't Alex's phrase for it.
No.
Outstanding pitch.
Yeah, different analysis on that.
Truly. Matsui homered his first time, is also lined out to right center and struck out. But Seaver said he'd be ahead 8-1, and they always would pitch, say, a big hitter a certain way, but he always would think, I think I could maybe get a fastball by him on the inside. And he would try, and he says, and I might have been right, and I get by, or he might hit a home run, but it was 8-1.
Yeah.
Bases empty. So he said, hey, I can just file that away for the next time when maybe the game was on the line and I'm facing that same guy. And he wouldn't mind giving up a home run in a spot like that just to find something out about a hitter when in a tight game you really couldn't afford to experiment like that. 1-1 the count to Matsui. Matsui had a 7 RBI game here on Friday, and he had a couple of home runs in that game. 2 hits, 2 homers, 7 runs batted in. Another home run tonight. And that was a big fly tonight. That was a home run hitter's home run. It was a fastball up at the top of the strike zone and a soaring shot into the bleachers and right as the curveball is at the knees for a called strike.
And Matsui is a guy that in his prime was a good fastball hitter. As he's gotten a little bit older, he's really shifted a little bit more to the breaking ball, and that high hard fastball gives him some difficulty. But I think he just looked for it. He turned it up a little bit, cheated on that high fastball, and made Josh Beckett pay for it on the first pitch in his first at bat.
That ball is hit deep down the line. Way back there. Goodbye. His second home run of the night for the second time of the weekend. He's had a 2-home run game. And that is the 5th home run against Beckett by the Yankees in this game.
Well, he tried to get inside with a fastball, and he didn't get it in enough. And Matsui pulls it right down the line. And watch, the target's there, but he didn't get that ball in. He got it on the inside corner, and he was able to get to it.
'23rd home run of the year. It's only 302 feet to that foul pole in right field, the Pesky pole. Named for John Pesky, although it wasn't really a compliment to Pesky, who was not a home run hitter. It was one of his teammates just said, the only home runs you ever hit are around that 302-foot marker down the right field line, so they called it Pesky's pole.
Let's take a look at the swing in ultra slow motion.
1 ball to no strikes to count to Swisher. Well, where's the swing? I'm waiting for it.
Hold on, John. Don't hold on. We're teasing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a tease.
And it's 1-1. So this is an ultra mo. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's take a look. Super slow motion here. Now watch the bat. You see where he hit it right on the sweet spot. I thought it got in on him a little bit, but maybe it did a little. Let me see that again. He's freezing on contact when you do it again.
1-2 now to Swisher. Well, you asked for it, Joe. Here
All right,
it is.
let me see. Let's see where he contacts us. I thought it got in on him a little bit. It does.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, see, it gets right there. The real sweet spot is more right in there. So, missed him a little bit. But he got enough of it because he pulled it down the line.
The sweet spot. A physicist would call that the center of percussion.
Okay, the center of percussion. But baseball players say the sweet spot.
Yes, they do.
I bet you that,
you know, a lot of now the new phrase is squaring it.
Well,
squaring it.
Okay. Square it up. Yeah, square it up.
Well, I've squared that sucker.
Well, people used to say it all the time. One of Pete Rose's famous phrases was, you know, it's so hard to hit because you take a round ball, you take a round bat, and you try to hit it square. So I guess that's...
So it came from Pete Rose, that phrase.
That part of it. I don't know about this squaring up.
But with our ultra slow-mo there, we found out he didn't really square it. It got a little bit down the bat a little bit from the sweet spot.
Yeah, he didn't square it. But he got enough of it.
What if he had squared it?
Well, he squared the first one.
That might have gone to the Prudential Center.
Yeah.
What a shot. Still went about, 80, 90 feet past Pesky's pole down there. 2-2 the count. Curveball in the dirt.
You know, you think back throughout the course of this game, that's the first curveball in the dirt that I remember Josh Beckett throwing in this game. And you know, it's such a major part of his game is that curveball when he gets ahead of the count to bury that one in the dirt. Jason Varitek block it to get the strikeout. But all of his curveballs were hanging throughout the night. He just did not have the sort of effectiveness we're used to from Josh Beckett.
He's allowed 8 home runs in 2 starts this week. A soaring fly ball to right. Baldelli, I beg your pardon. And that's the inning. 5 homers in 8 innings allowed by Josh Beckett. Now the big hitters for the Red Sox. Martinez, Youkilis, Jason Bay coming up. They trail 8-4. He's leading the Red Sox, but Red Sox fans, they don't leave Fenway Park early, especially if it's Red Sox Yankees. Not even if they're very young Red Sox fans, apparently. Robinson, Phil Hughes, I beg your pardon. Phil Hughes to Victor Martinez, ball 1. Hughes in relief of CC Sabathia. Martinez, Youkilis, and Bay coming up, and a foul that will go back out of play. 5 home runs for the Yankees. 3 years ago, the Toronto Blue Jays hit 5 home runs in a game here. No team had done that since. 58 runs have been scored in this series. It's the most total runs in a 3-game series in the history of the Red Sox-Yankees matchup, whether at Fenway or Yankee Stadium or at the Huntington Avenue grounds or Hilltop Park where the Yankees played, or even the Polo Grounds where they played before Yankee Stadium was built. 2-1 and ball 3-1. The last time a Red Sox pitcher allowed 5 home runs in a game, it was Tim Wakefield 5 years ago.
He actually ended up giving up 6 in that game.
And, many thanks for reminding Tim about that.
Yeah, he's scheduled to pitch on Wednesday for the Red Sox.
And a foul back over our heads, and it's a 3-2 count now to Victor Martinez. Yeah, Wakefield's scheduled to go on Wednesday in the spot that would have been Brad Penny's turn. And Wakefield, who pitched on Friday in a rehab assignment, pitched into the 6th inning of a game. He'll go on Wednesday. And Junichi Tazawa, who pitched well here yesterday, got a win against the Yankees, will go on Thursday. That is a fair ball. And a single, the carom, played by Swisher. Martinez has his second hit.
Brad Penny's going to back up both Wakefield and Tazawa in case they need him for multiple innings.
Yeah, but I think the bigger story is that Victor Martinez is going to catch Tim Wakefield, and he's never caught a knuckleball before. He went down and practiced, you know, when Wakefield was warming up and getting his throwing in, and he caught. He said it worked out pretty well, but that's not game conditions.
That will be an adventure. Here's Youkilis, and there is ball 1. The Red Sox, in their last 8 games before tonight, hit 20 home runs. They have not hit one tonight. And Wakefield was injured. He's been in the disabled list since July 21st, but hadn't pitched since July the 8th. And he was 11-3. So they have missed him big time.
And was having his best start because, I mean, he made the All-Star team for the first time. So he was having a great season.
It really went down just before the All-Star game, ironically.
They missed just not only his success in the field, but he also gave some innings, and I think he protected the bullpen in that way. And speaking of the bullpen, there's also speculation, rumors that the Red Sox have a waiver claim in on Billy Wagner, the Mets reliever, who's just come back from Tommy John surgery. And by 2 o'clock on Tuesday, they're going to have to make a decision about whether the Mets pull him back.
And it's ball 2 now to Kevin Youkilis. So if you're the Mets, why would you pull him back?
You're going to save over $2 million this year, $1 million buyout on an option year for next year. And I don't think the Mets are going to pull him back. I think they're going to give him up on the waiver. They're going to hope to get a player return, but push come to shove, I think Billy Wagner, if in fact it's true that they have the claimant on him, he will go. And you see Jonathan Papelbon there. He actually had some comment today that he says, what do we need Billy Wagner for? I'm the closer here. Why would we need a guy like Billy Wagner? There's Theo Epstein, the general manager, and if there was a waiver claim put in, he'd know about it. He would have been the one that put the claim in. And Billy Wagner coming back from Tommy John surgery, you have to wonder, how much workload he can take if he can pitch back-to-back days. But when he's right, he could be absolutely dominating with his stuff. And you saw Thursday, he came out 1 inning, struck out 2 in the game against the Atlanta Braves.
Standing in the bag at first was Victor Martinez on that pickoff throw. He didn't even have to get back. He was already back. 2-0 the count to Kevin Youkilis, who has struck out, grounded into a double play, and doubled to left center. Melky Cabrera on the warning track, and he makes the catch. It's 390 feet to dead straightaway center. The wall out there is 17 feet high. And he got real close to the wall before catching that one. 1 away.
A lot of times Youkilis will sit on that 2-0 fastball and try to do something with it. He tried to pull this one, but didn't quite get around on it. Obviously he pulls it, it's out of the ballpark, but it was a 2-0 fastball. He's sitting dead red here. Barrel of the bat gets under it just like he wanted, but hits it to the wrong part of the ballpark.
And you want to see that one again? You want to freeze that?
No, that's all right. That's okay.
Did he hit it on the sweet spot?
That one looked like it was on the sweet spot. It sounded like it was on the sweet spot when he first hit it.
So how come it didn't go anywhere?
Well, it went 380 feet. That's a long way.
0-2 the count to Jason Bay, who is 1 for 3. The Yankee bullpen is busy. It's not quite Mariano Rivera time yet. There's Phil Coke, the left-hander. We're talking about Billy Wagner. Red Sox only have one left-handed reliever, Hideki Okajima, and he's a good one. I don't think any manager would want to have 2 good lefties, and it could be that Wagner would be a guy who could just come in maybe and face 1 or 2 lefties, something like that. They wouldn't really have to tax him and say an inning here, inning and 2/3 there. Just go get this lefty out. Just give a little extra option to manager Terry Francona as Bay strikes out for the 3rd time.
Well, I think you can understand the short-term impact as you see Takashi Saito warming up in the Red Sox bullpen. You can see the short-term benefit of a guy like Billy Wagner to give that second option for Terry Francona. But there's a bigger picture thought of a possibility that the Boston Red Sox, Daniel Bard in the bullpen with that great arm, he's the closer of the future. That they might get a Billy Wagner to protect Bard as the closer and maybe use Jonathan Papelbon as a chip this offseason. Papelbon's not been as dominant or efficient this year as he's been in the past, but he would be a big-time chip on the trade market this offseason to bring the Red Sox back to plug some holes on their roster.
Now that is just like a general manager there. This is general manager behind closed doors intrigue we're talking about here.
It's a little Oliver Stone conspiracy theory if you want to go there. But I mean, I think that the initial impact would certainly be Billy Wagner and his impact this year. But you can understand that what Victor Martinez, the versatility he gives the Red Sox for the planning for the future, a guy like Billy Wagner with an option year for next year would protect them in that regard as well.
And that's a called strike to Mike Lowell. Lowell has had a double and a single in 3 at-bats.
The only thing I would say to that is he wants to trade everybody.
Yeah.
Now you're going to trade Papelbon. I guess, but if you can fill a hole. Remember at the beginning of the season, we thought Boston had the most depth in starting pitching and pitching as anyone.
A pop fly, shallow right. Here comes Swisher. He's got it in a slide. Nick Swisher takes away the possible bloop single. J.D. Drew had come out on deck. He would have been up next. And we're heading to the 9th inning. Robinson Cano, who has a home run tonight, coming up 8-4 Yankees. The Yankees leading the Red Sox. Now, during the week, fans have been helping us celebrate our 20th season of Major League Baseball coverage on ESPN, going to the MLB page at ESPN.com, voting for third baseman in our 20th year All-Star team. The nominees, Alex Rodriguez, Wade Boggs, and Chipper Jones. And the winner, Chipper Jones. He won 41% of the vote, 33% for A-Rod, 26% for Wade Boggs. Go to ESPN.com tomorrow. Start voting for your pick for top shortstop during our 20 years of Major League Baseball coverage here on ESPN. As Takashi Saito delivers a called strike to Robinson Cano. Cano is flied out deep to left. He is homered into the bleachers in right and lined out to left. He is 1 for 3.
With only one left-hander in the pen, Saito's the guy that Terry Francona goes to. The other guy he goes to get left-handers out. He has a good split-finger fastball he uses against left-handed hitters. Short of a second left-handed reliever, Saito is that other guy.
A ball and a strike to Cano. 5 home runs for the Yankees, all against Josh Beckett. And if you're thinking, wow, I don't ever remember Beckett giving up that many home runs in a game. Well, you're right. He had never given up that many before in a game. He had allowed 4 home runs on occasion, but never 5 until tonight. He didn't walk anybody, but maybe there were a couple of guys that might not have been so bad if he had walked them.
You may be right.
In fact, there has not been a single walk issued in this game by any pitcher. Sabathia went 6 2/3, no walks, had 8 strikeouts. Josh Beckett, 5 home runs allowed, 4th Boston pitcher to allow 5 or more since 1954. And Cano, kind of a wild swing and a pitch well up out of the strike zone, 1 away.
And John, speaking of Sabathia, he has given the Yankees everything that they have asked for when they signed him this offseason. You know, they wanted him to win ball games. He's about to win his 15th if they can hold on here. He's been able to beat Boston the last 2 times they faced if they can hold on. And he's also a guy that they know, as we see Mariano Rivera loosening up, we know that he can be the ace starter for the playoffs. I mean, they've been eliminated in the playoffs their last 2 appearances there in the first round. And the last 3 times in the first round. And they didn't have an ace to go in there and back them up. They didn't have someone to match up against, say, a Josh Beckett or someone who was an ace for the other staff. A couple of times, of course, one of those times it was Cleveland and it was Sabathia. They didn't have anyone to match up against them. Now they do.
Let me ask you this, though, Joe. A lot like Alex Rodriguez, October's all that matters right now. And for Sabathia, he's not been a very good postseason pitcher.
Right.
I think it may be similar for him. He's been great so far, but October's really the story.
Well, that's what they got him for. I mean, they really wanted him to be the ace in the postseason. The Yankees go into the season thinking they're going to make the playoffs. And if you make the playoffs, you need an ace, and that's what they think they got. I mean, they acquired Burnett, of course, and Swisher. All of their off-season acquisitions, you know, they're free agent guys. And even the trade for Swisher. All these guys have really helped make this a very fine ball club.
1-2 the count. And Cabrera chases that high fastball out of the zone, just as did Cano. So 2 men are gone. This summer, please join Major League Baseball and the People All-Stars among us in your community by signing up to volunteer at MLBGoBeyond.com. MLBGoBeyond.com. We're in the 9th inning at Fenway Park. We've got the Yankees leading the American League East. The second-place Red Sox, who also lead the wild card division in the American League. The rubber match of their 3-game series. The Yankees are ahead 8-4. Next Sunday, we'll see the National League East leaders, the team that won the World Series last year with an ace, left-hander Cole Hamels, who was unbeaten in the postseason. And we'll see the Phillies next week against Atlanta. Atlanta is right now second place in the National League East, although not leading the wild card. They're in 3rd place in the wild card division. 8 o'clock Eastern from Citizens Bank Park in Philly. And we may see some home runs in that ballpark. The Phillies are launching them no matter what ballpark they're playing in. We saw Ryan Howard last Sunday hit a couple of big flies in Atlanta.
And he stayed hot, and he usually gets hot the second half.
One ball, one strike to count, and the drops that slider in there for a strike. One ball and two strikes.
Chase Utley had a big home run, winning home run for the Phillies this past week as well.
The Phillies have hit 174 home runs. The Yankees have now hit 191 home runs with their 5 tonight. And Hideki Matsui, how about 2 more homers in this game after getting 2 homers with 7 RBIs Friday, which brought out the name Lou Gehrig, an all-time Yankee great. The last time a Yankee had 7 RBIs or more in a game was Lou Gehrig.
Wow.
Hideki Matsui, in Japan he was known as Godzilla, was the great home run hitter at that time for the Tokyo Giants. And that's a base hit for Jose Molina, and that will allow Derek Jeter another trip to the plate. Jeter set the tone for the home run derby for the Yankees tonight. He hit the first pitch thrown by Josh Beckett over the right center field wall into the Boston bullpen for a home run. The first of what has turned into 5 home runs. He also singled in the third and has grounded out twice. Josh Beckett is going to head in.
Tell you what, though, a lot of credit to Josh Beckett. I mean, he got knocked around a little bit, but he gave innings, and I think that's saving the bullpen a little bit, understanding they don't get the day off tomorrow. They're going to have to keep playing through, and he's protected the bullpen despite the overall performance.
Pedroia, and the put out by Gonzalez, forcing Molina. Jeter 2 for 5. Well, Mariano Rivera is ready in the bullpen. Baldelli, Varitek, Alex Gonzalez due up. They've got Big Papi, J.D. Drew, among others, still available on the bench. The great Rivera could be about to make his entrance. Yankees 8, Boston 4 as we go to the last of the 9th inning. It is not a rule book save opportunity as Rivera comes in, but our Chevrolet player of the game is Hideki Matsui. 2 home runs for the second time in a game this weekend. Chevrolet is proud to recognize today's best and tomorrow's future, supporting youth baseball nationwide. Matsui-san. A big night at Fenway against the rivals. Here is Baldelli against the great Rivera. I said Baldelli. That is obviously not Baldelli. That is J.D. Drew pinch hitting for Baldelli. So Drew with Varitek out on deck. They also still have David Ortiz available. We mentioned that they'd had 2 home runs or more in each of 8 straight games, did the Red Sox, for 20 home runs total. Of those 20 home runs, Big Papi hit 5 of them. He's been swinging the bat real well here in the last week to 10 days. Ball 3.
We saw Mariano Rivera's numbers. He has 8 walks this year, so he does tend to throw strikes. So falling behind 3-0 is not a common thing for him at all.
8 walks in 52 innings pitched. And he walked him on 4 pitches. Now remember, this is not a save situation. His numbers, like a lot of closers, it's not as good when it's not a save situation. Molina out to counsel Rivera.
Well, I think one of the reasons they wanted to use him is because he hasn't pitched this entire weekend, because of all the big numbers that were thrown up there by the Yankees and Boston.
So they didn't need him to close out a 20-11 victory.
No.
They didn't need him when they were behind 14-1 yesterday.
No.
David Ortiz still in the dugout.
Standing on the top step, just reminding Joe Girardi that he's lurking in the shadows.
They're not holding Drew at first, so he takes off and goes to second base uncontested as Varitek takes a strike.
Good move there. Stay out of a double play, and you figure Varitek's going to take a pitch and at least force Rivera to throw a strike, his first strike since entering the game. So you stay out of a double play and a line drive as well.
And the cutter off the inside. A ball and a strike. Now, the Red Sox have been tougher on Mariano Rivera than any other team. Surely they've seen him more than any other team. He has converted 32 consecutive save opportunities, which is the longest such streak in his career. He's had 36 saves in 37 chances overall this year. Strike 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's interesting, Casey Kochman in the on-deck circle, but as you look at, they flip over the lineup after Varitek in Gonzalez's spot. I mean, where will they use David Ortiz if they don't use him in Gonzalez's spot? I guess maybe in Ellsbury's position. You can.
Strike 3 called, that little backdoor cutter.
I don't think they're planning on using Ortiz. Well, what you called it, John, a backdoor cutter starts toward the off the outside, just comes back and catches some part of the catcher's glove.
Yeah, didn't actually catch the plate, did he? According to K-Zone. Casey Kochman. Well, they are going to use Casey Kochman. But Big Papi, so far we have not seen him make a move to the bat rack or even to pick up a batting helmet.
I understand you're 4 runs down, and he's not the guy that's going to swing the bat to tie the game up. But when you get to that point where you have somebody to tie the game up, you're not going to hit for those guys. You're not going to hit for Youkilis or Victor Martinez or Bay.
There's that cutter in on the hands of Casey Kochman. 0-2 the count. Red Sox had Adam LaRoche for a brief time. We'll see LaRoche next Sunday, likely when we see Atlanta at Philadelphia at 8 o'clock Eastern. LaRoche was a Red Sox for, what, 6 days?
I think that was a great pickup for the Braves.
It was, and it wasn't bad for LaRoche to come to Boston because he came here, got to know John Lester a little bit. When he got traded to Atlanta, he's staying in John Lester's house in the Atlanta area now. So that's a pretty good teammate when you've been with somebody for 6 days and they say, here's the keys to the house.
So he must be a good guy.
Got to be a good guy.
Mariano Rivera. And the foul off the foot by Casey Kotchman.
John, I mentioned to you I went into the umpires room today and spoke with Joe West and all the guys, and they wanted me to remind everybody that they have this. It's called Umps Charity, UMPS, Umps Care, and it's a charitable organization that they raise money. They have a golf tournament in Phoenix in January every year, and they raise money and give it out to charities. It's Umps Care Charities. There's Joe West.
Cowboy.
Some guys call him Country Joe West, but
he's not just an umpire. He's a recording artist.
Yes, he is. Just ask him; he'll tell you.
He did. He gave me a couple of new.
You got a new CD?
Yeah, it's coming out pretty soon. Yeah.
Are you holding out on us?
Well, I mean,
I'll tell you, Rivera wanted that last pitch too because he thought it was similar to the one he got to strike out on Veritek.
If you love me half as much as I love you.
Wait a minute.
Well, you're cold, cold.
It's only 8-4, John.
Oh, it's not a trio up here, is it?
No.
I'm just trying to.
I'm just checking.
I'm trying to evoke a little Joe West.
I got you.
Yeah. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Although that was a little Hank Williams, actually. I don't have Joe's CD. So 2 men are gone. Kotchman retired. Over to third goes J.D. Drew, and now Ellsbury. In the wild card division, the Rangers won today down in St. Petersburg, Florida, beating the Rays. Back of Scott Feldman. And so, in the American League wild card race, if Boston loses this one and they're trailing with 2 down in the ninth by 4 runs, Texas will be just 1 game behind them in the wild card division. Tampa Bay would still be 3 games back. And that's strike 1 to Jacoby Ellsbury. 0-1 the count. And the Rangers are headed for New York. They play the Yankees starting Tuesday. The White Sox are here starting tomorrow. White Sox, who are right in the thick of the race in the Central Division. That's a strike. And that backdoor cutter again. Strike 2 to Ellsbury, who was 0 for 4 tonight.
It's interesting, John. Ellsbury was hitting so well the last couple of weeks. All of a sudden, he went 0 for 5 yesterday, and he's staring at another 0 for 5 today. That tells you why it's so difficult to be an everyday player and hit 300.
And he is 0 for 5. The ball game is over. The great cutter from Mariano Rivera. Not a save, but I think Joe Girardi still likes having that security blanket out there, even in a 4-run lead at Fenway Park. The Yankees